think we're live now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Maybe can you put my headphones up, boss?
Yes.
I can't hear myself. I like to hear myself.
You
I like to
hearing
make
yourself?
it all about myself.
Yeah. I like my voice, but not enough to always want to listen to myself.
I am a narcoist.
A narcoist?
Yeah.
You rat on people?
I'm a narcissist.
I never narked on nobody.
Dude, does that ever happen to you, Huss?
What?
And beans and rice, this is the butter begins to ring.
Yeah. What day is it today? The 10th?
The 10th, dude. 310. People were saying March 10 Mario. Happy Mario.
Yeah. It's not.
Right? Come on, dog.
It's not good.
It's not May the 4th be with you.
No.
Right? That's like the only good one, right?
Yeah.
May the 4th? But,
May the 4th is really good. Yeah.
and that's people trying to hijack that from the Mexicans, you know? Because we had Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, they got jealous.
And all of a
like,
sudden, oh, May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you. Which is really just somebody with a lisp trying to say force.
Yeah.
So maybe
Mike Tyson?
maybe the Spaniards wanted to, because the Mexicans had the May 5th. The animals are just boxing over there.
Shadow boxing.
Yeah.
Does that? Have you seen that? That hasn't popped up on your timeline, host, when you say, "Oh, are you a narcissist?" or something like that. What pops up on your YouTube, by the way?
On my YouTube?
Yeah, like your algorithm.
I was discussing this with a buddy of mine. So we were playing games the other day when you
When I message him.
sent me an explicitive, because I was looking at videos on how to design certain things on Photoshop just because I wanted to learn to make something. And on my algorithm, I like cooking videos too because I like to cook. And it was showing me videos of very scantily clad women with BBLs and big. And I go, I don't want to watch this. I just
what
wanna
were they
watch
doing?
the-
They were just being.
They were
girls,
making simple dishes, and honestly, even the recipes, I'm like, these aren't that good recipes.
It was
You're
mac
only
and
getting,
cheese.
Yeah, you're only getting views because of the way you look, which is fine. But I was so petty that I started downvoting every single one to get it off my algorithm and blocking one
Downvoting on what? You're on TikTok?
on YouTube.
You can downvote on that?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
it's a way for the algorithm to know not to recommend that to you.
But when you say downvote, there's a button that says downvote, or
It's like a thumbs down.
oh, the thumbs down.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
I thought
down.
that just meant dislike.
That's why I guess dislike, but that also tells your algorithm that you don't want to see that.
Oh, okay.
So all of them, there's just so many of those little Fadarati videos cooking the most basic recipes that I'm not going to be cooking. I cook actual real meals.
They're making birria tacos now.
With the birria bomb. And they don't do anything. They just boil water, throw the birria bomb in there.
Hey, but they look good.
And
Hans.
the women?
Yeah,
Some
you
of
don't
them look
think so?
good, but not worth my time. I don't care. You're still getting the dislike. I'm getting you off my feed. I watch YouTube for more instructional content, not to watch women with bodies like that. I don't know. It's not what I'm on YouTube for.
But what's maybe the one?
So that's what's on my algorithm.
Have you found something nice on YouTube? I was like, oh, you were watching this. You're like, oh, I found this.
A lot of art videos I really
inspiring.
like. Yeah, some artists that are really good, and some of them even just the way they communicate their art, how they narrate their art, and they're really good at videos. And there's one that does.
How do you say that again? Sorry.
Narrate.
It's not narrate.
No, it's just narrate.
Okay.
Yeah, narrate. How they narrate the videos.
Narrate.
They walk you through the process, and I like when they're honest too on telling you it's difficult versus the simple, quick ones that you see on TikTok or the reels where they're 7-10 seconds. They actually tell you all the struggles they go through while they're doing the art, and I can resonate with that because people think, oh, you just thought of it and then you just did it, and there's so many steps, even to something pretty simple and basic. So I respect the process of any creative endeavor that you may have because it's not all just simple.
What about, did you watch stuff with history or no?
Yes, art and history specifically, but some of the wars, just to keep in mind, World War II was always the most fascinating for me because it was so crazy to imagine what was going on. World War I on how it started. Most of the wars, and then just ancient civilizations and seeing what we knew about them, if we knew anything about them, and some wildlife stuff like ocean.
Yeah, sometimes I get fired up on that, the hippos or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. There's one of that's called pets, something like that. When it's they like us what is it called, a Maine Coon or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a type of dog or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's it befriends a tiger because the tiger was lonely at the zoo.
Sure.
And then they're buddies, and then they have to keep a dog that lives inside of with the tiger's den.
That's its emotional support animal.
Yeah, literally. It's like, dude, could you imagine, bro? Like, can you imagine being like, you're at a zoo, bro? That would suck, bro.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, like, if you're at the zoo, you're like the only tiger. Like,
Yeah, you got nothing
you know,
going on. You're in solitary confinement, really.
you're gambling with the birds. You know, you're like, you're starting to get into weird activities.
Then you got some snot-nosed brat that's like eating a melting popsicle. It's like, that's a tiger. They're like, and just like sticking their hands all over the window. And dude, the tiger's like, dude, just let me be.
Especially a tiger in Utah, bro. Like, can you imagine? You know,
High altitude.
you're in Utah and you're a tiger. Like, what would be the worst animals to be like? Like the elephant was pretty bad, right? There's like not even a lot of people from India in Utah. You know,
They got to see those women with the knitted, the crocheted headbands with the flower on it. Dude, you got to see that every day? Hell no.
the Karen
I'd
cuts.
be pissed if
With the
They
little
just got
pixie
off of
ladies.
Great Clips, you know?
Yeah, no, that would suck. I always wondered, because I went to the zoo, you know, it's like, oh man, you know, the zoo's not going to be that bad. Like, it's. And I finally went because I wanted to go before they got rid of
When
the
did you go
elephants.
recently?
Before they got rid of the elephants.
Okay.
They announced it, they're like, oh, they're getting rid of the elephants. You know, they started. They joined the FLDS church or something like that. You know, they're going to go on a trek. They're going to go on the mission.
Yep.
The elephants.
They went on track.
Yeah.
They might not come back.
Yeah, and and it was like you felt bad, and they had the nicest cage.
They did have the nicest because they required the most space.
Yeah.
They had a little pool area that they can like. I mean, it's not. They wouldn't submerge themselves. It was like up to their ankles, but it was still a little pool.
Yeah, they had the pool, and they can squirt it on the people, you know. But yeah, the other one that had like a giant cave or whatever was the like the monkeys.
Yeah.
Hello, monkey. It was like it was the chimps. It was like the chimps,
Yeah.
and then like I think maybe it would have been orangutans. And dude, orangutans, bro, like it was like only one orangutan, also in a really big.
I went when they had the albino alligator.
They had one here. You
Yeah, they had one, and it was actually really cool. But it was just a long room with one long swimming pool, and you can tell the guy just like, dude, kill me now. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, they're sad, huh?
Yeah.
You can look at them. That's why I feel bad, bro. Like before, I thought it was like, oh, just white people that don't have hobbies, you know, complaining, oh, the animals.
No, but it's like they have a point.
Like you go there, you're like, oh, damn.
You can
bro.
tell.
Like, oh yeah, dude. Like I went, and it's like one of the penguins was tying a noose. You know, you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dude. Was it
With flippers, and the fact that he even got that advanced anyway should tell you something.
Where did you get?
Yeah, he
Oh,
wanted to
I
end it
thought
so fast that he learned how to tie a knot.
But they
without
had
thumbs.
these. They almost look like capuchin monkeys. They look like they were like skunk monkeys. They look like black and white. They were wearing.
It was just an old Asian family that was there.
Ah, the whole family. No, but they look like that. Like they were like black and white. And dude, those guys, they had like a net, like a pirate's net, bro. Those guys were out there fucking.
Oh, they're just
Monkey of the
they're
Caribbean,
mucking
bro.
around. Yeah.
So that one is like okay, and like people are like, all of them are happy to see the monkeys, you know. So
Uh-huh.
it's like, that one I was like, okay, I would want to be one of those monkeys.
Yeah, of course.
You're tiny, you're protected, right?
You have a big cage with all the toys, like, and the things you can swing around.
You're getting fruits.
Yes.
You know, you got your sun. But then it would suck to be a monkey in the winter. Think about it.
Maybe.
Because the polar bears are like, at least, you know, for the polar bears, bro, they have like a shitty summer.
Yeah, but
You
the
know,
winter.
But
is
the
where they
winter is
thrive.
like, oh, damn, like, I like
Yeah.
it here.
Hot
you
girl
know.
summer, you know, polar bear winter.
They turn into black bears.
Yeah.
That's why you never hear about the black bears in Utah, huh? During the
No.
summer. Dude,
They change colors. Like
they
the
get rid
fall
of
leaves.
them. They send them to California
Yeah.
for the season.
Other YouTube videos that I enjoy watching are bushcraft videos.
What is that, for lesbians?
No, it should
No?
be, but I mean, some of them might be into
Witchcraft?
it. Yeah.
That's lesbian
It's
witches.
bushcraft, you know? They will. The animals love me, by the way. All the animals love me.
It's because he's wearing. Oh, I'm wearing black too. I was like,
Yeah.
it's because he's wearing black.
Yeah, but you have a clown on your shirt. They're not gonna want that,
Be
man. That
nice.
scares them.
You think they can love me too? Huh?
No, hopefully. But no, it's where a person will go and they just have limited amount of tools and they build like a shelter and
okay.
do all that and they get their own food and stuff.
Have you seen those
Or they have
ones
their own
on
food,
YouTube that it's like the guys that they like dig out a whole pile like out of the clay?
Yeah, those are like the ones
It's like in
India.
Thailand or something.
Yeah, those areas like.
And they're like
it's really cool.
And they make like a swimming pool and they take grass from another place.
Yep.
and they had like a whole palace.
They make running water.
Two-story, yeah.
It's pretty nice.
It's like, damn.
It's
bro.
like that, but far more primitive almost.
That's a freaking.
They'll make their shelter. They'll survive in like 0-degree weather or whatever. I like those videos are pretty cool.
That's that Thai 3D printing, huh?
Yeah.
But what about for history? Is there any channels that you recommend? Like, oh, I'm gonna watch. Because you always tell me, oh, Vladimir the Impaler. You tell me cool names, and then I don't know what you're saying.
Well, a lot of it I learned through art because remember, art captures kind of at least back then for
The
sure.
mystique.
It was representative of what was going on back then. And I mean, really, art is fan art if you think about it. All the greatest art that we see today from back then is what you call fan art. Because it'd be churches or really rich people saying, oh, I love this, paint me that, right? So if you think of everything Michelangelo painted or Da Vinci, that was fan art. Anyways, Art Explained is
Oh,
is
one of the
probably my favorite
channels.
challenge.
Have you seen that one with the little fish or no?
Fish.
It's like a fish that he complains. It's like the Y-Files, actually. That's what it's called.
I was about to say, that sounds like Nemo.
No, it's like, but it's called the Y-Files, but it literally has like a little fish that always interrupts the host. And it's like
I've never heard of
edited
that.
or something like that. You know?
I've never heard of that, yeah. But Art Explained is probably the best one because...
And tell the viewers why really quick, because I'm gonna let the dog out
Okay,
really
he's a
quick.
European fellow. I don't know if if he has a team now, but he would give you like the entire history of the artist, or sometimes he'll speak on either the artist, the piece, or multiple pieces of the artist. He would describe why the artist was influenced by the specific piece, what was occurring in that time of the piece, the controversy behind it, any relevant information that was pertaining to the painting, why it was inspiring and why it made such a difference and how it's revered today. Tells you where it's just fantastic. It's a guy, and that's why I like supporting anyone. And he would take his time. He would put out one video almost every month, but they were like really detailed videos, and they were, I would say, better than any sort of class I've been to. He teaches it in a really engaging way, and you're just like sucked in because he tells you a story while telling you about the art, why it's significant, its use of, or the artist's use of either colors, their techniques, what they were going through. He just like digs stuff up. He's almost like a art archaeologist where he tells you like all of it that he can. So he obviously does his research, and it's a really cool way to, even if you don't care for the art itself, it's just a cool story.
Did I tell you that's why I dropped out of college or no?
No.
So I was at Solid Community College, and I took a graphics class. I was doing graphics, and most of the stuff I already knew.
Yeah.
Dude, they had us doing the dumbest thing. Like, this is what I hate about college. Like, that was my main class, and also I played college basketball.
I know. I remember.
Introduction to basketball.
You just found it. You just discovered basketball.
So then, but that was like, so then you have your other classes that, oh, you're gonna get a degree or whatever. Bro, I would go there. The ladies making me do cutouts of. She would bring scraps of paper, and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna do a collage out of this." And I'm like, "Lady, I'm an adult now. Hopefully, you know." It's like I'm paying for this class. You're gonna make me do
a collage.
A collage of just random
It's called
scraps.
college, not collage.
And then we were watching like this Andy Warhol video, bro, and there was a Russian lady that she sat behind me. And dude, and she was like pretty cute, but she was like maybe like 40, 50 pounds, like that pale, like heavy smoker look, you know, with the bangs. Before they were popular.
She was one of the chain links while she chain smoked. You know?
La mamá de los pollitos, that's what she looked like, you know.
Lucy Volkovich.
Lucy Volkovich behind me, bro. Like, dude, she had never talked the whole class at all, so I don't know what she sounds like. I don't know her name. We're in the middle of Andy Warhol. They're talking about how many drugs and stuff he did and all the parties that he would do.
Yeah.
And she all of a sudden just gets behind me and she just screams. She's like, "These crazy Americans. That's why nobody likes you guys. You guys just do party. And she freaked the fuck out. Dude, and her voice was that deep. And it's like, I just turned around, I was like...
From all the emphysema she
Dude, and this is community college, you know? So I didn't go to university. I thought people were going to be my age. You get a freaking 40-year-old lady.
Age, yeah.
A 40-year-old lady behind me just like, ooh, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I'm out of this. Cause I was like, after that, it's like, I never went back again. I was like, that.
Ukrainian orc, huh?
This is not for me.
No, but funny that you mentioned, because I was going to bring up one of the artists that I enjoyed, Art Explained, was Andy Warhol. Because I think most people just talk about his pop art, but in his pop art, like, so he had a pretty crazy lifestyle. And not until after his death was it even discovered, and I found this out through the video, that he was a devout Catholic. He would pray every day. I can't remember if he kept a journal. I saw this video maybe like 2 years ago, but that was almost a big part of his inspiration behind some of his art, and that was documented, is that he was a devout Catholic, and no one thought about it. And even now, I don't think people talk about that he was a Catholic, but Andy Warhol was very into his Catholic roots, and he. Just make sure, I think you unplugged.
It's like I sat on it.
Yeah.
I was there. I was
Okay. Yeah.
I turned off with my butt. Sorry. He
but
was
yeah,
Catholic.
Yeah, but devout. But they didn't find out until after he died because he kept that a secret. And I think part of it was and I saw this like 2 years ago. I would listen to these while I walked my dog at the park, and that was almost an extra nice experience. I had the sun shining, and I'm like learning about art history. But it was his way to protect his art because he felt that if he did know that people would judge him more. And so it was funny that
because
even
he was
now
Catholic?
after his death, people don't really talk about it. Even though now we know.
He's like the JFK of art.
I guess, pretty much. We'll never know. But just stuff like that is really cool to see. There was one as well, like, he talks an episode about the significant art that they burned, like the Nazis during World War II. Like what it meant and why they were destroying it and how it impacted the culture after they burnt it, and what we'll never see again just because they decided to burn it.
So what was some of the art? Was it like Jewish stuff, or was it like Christian
Oh,
stuff?
a lot of different things, yeah. A lot of different religion-based
But they
ones.
could believe in Jesus, Nazis, or no?
They did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they would still burn like religious artifacts, though?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I think, like, honestly, you know, it'd be nice to kind of kill people sometimes. Like, if you think about it, like, if you had a one life to go that crazy, right? It's like, dude, if you're gonna go to hell, you know, and it was real,
Go out with a bang.
some people did it right.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
like,
I
dude,
mean, it's got to be a rush,
some people
right?
earned it, right? They're in the
Yeah.
VIP of, like, bro, imagine the VIP of hell. You
And the thing is, we're talking about people that deserve it, not like
Yeah.
not some innocent person. We're talking about
Yeah.
someone who really had it coming to them. You know,
Yeah.
someone cuts you off at the Starbucks line. Get out now. I'm just
Not because you had a, and imagine, like, you're the guy that maybe cheated on his wife or something like that. And you're
Yeah.
up there with, like, Hitler, Vladimir the Impaler.
Yeah, dude,
like,
you just some
all these freaks.
all for some random puss. You know, these guys.
Like all these serial killers.
They'll even look at you like, you here for what?
Dude, those are the ones that'll probably rape you. You know what I mean? In jail.
Who, Hitler?
Yeah, like it's like you're like your crime is so freaking stupid.
Yeah, they're like, dude, no, you
You're
gotta get
sick?
punished
They're
for
like-
it. Yeah.
You know, hold my pocket. Show my pocket.
Raise my hand.
Dude, like, you're over. You're like, no, like you're like,
Yeah.
they're definitely. I'm not gonna raise your hand, Hitler. You know.
Yeah, no, of course not.
But that would be crazy because who else could
That's-
have gone to hell? You think
That's
that?
a safe word, right? Raising the hand.
Yeah. Even that's, dude. I bet you Hitler. That's probably like even frowned upon in hell. Like when he does a salute in hell.
Yeah.
Like
They
even
look at him like, come on, man.
people on here is like,
Yeah,
bro.
come on. Genghis Khan is down there like, no.
He's like, bro, we're all down.
Even Vlad the Impaler's like,
We're all down here, bro.
yeah.
We're all in this chamber. You
Yeah.
know?
But back to how I find out, like literally war creates some of
Good
the
art.
biggest villains essentially, or
Oh.
heroes or whatever, anti-heroes. And that's how I find out about like Vlad the Impaler, because it's really just conquest that they would do.
And he was a good guy.
No, he was a horrible guy.
Yeah.
He was a piece of shit. They called him the Impaler. He would literally impale people and leave them out until... You've seen Mulan?
Yeah, dude, Mulan. I watched. That was the first movie I ever watched in
Mulan's
Mexico.
It's a great movie.
And I didn't know what it was because it was like, I was at the age where I was like 3.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it's like, is it a boy? Is it a girl? Like where you didn't know, you know? It was just like, I was just trying to fucking figure that out the whole movie.
Yeah, that was a mystery for you. The war didn't matter. It was just boy or girl. You know? When's the part we get to see
I
between
started
the legs?
touching my body. I'm like,
Yeah.
which one am I? You know?
But then they spoil it, right? Because that guy with the Fu Manchu, he goes, "She's a woman," because that finally tells you. But I think I don't know if I said it on this podcast, but I'm sure I told Javi and you before. This is one of the fun things for me on history because there's influences of like the Mongolian Empire, which is what the
Barbecue girls.
barbecue girls.
The girls. Mongolian.
Yeah, I mean that's Mongolian barbecue, that's for sure.
Okay, go ahead.
But the bad guys in Mulan, that's like based on the Mongolian Empire, and obviously you have China, the Chinese. So the yes,
So what about the bike gang? Is that like an Asian one too? Like the
bike
Mongolians or Mongols?
the
Is
Mongols.
that different?
Yeah, the Mongols is like based off the Mongolians.
Oh really?
Hmm.
Oh wow, I did not know.
Yeah, because that was like the biggest empire of all time, and so part of that.
I'm more of a Hell's Angel.
Are you? So part of that was the Mongolians were very unique. Like Genghis Khan had many daughters, and he made his daughters actual generals, like army generals.
Oh.
They didn't care if you were a woman or not. You're just like, are you willing? Like, are you able to do it or not? And before you interrupt me, I'm gonna finish. So, one of the parts, like as a kid, I didn't appreciate it, but when I was already a teenager and I read a lot of like history books and how those things worked, I think it was really cool that Disney put it when he sees Mulan. Remember how she pulls back her hair?
Yeah.
And he like looks at her and he's like shocked and he goes, "The soldier
Look
from
how
the
good
mountain."
she looks.
No, he says the soldier from the mountain. Because the Mongolians didn't care. Like he didn't care that she was a woman. He just saw her as, "You stopped me." Whereas the Chinese would have been baffled that it was a woman and upset. He was more like, "Oh, you stopped me." He didn't care that she was a woman. So I thought it was like a unique small detail that Disney, I'm positive, intentionally put in, and I appreciated it even more.
Now, okay, here's my rebuttal to that whole. It's like,
What are you rebuttaling?
well, okay, I get it. It's cool and all that. Women could be accepted back in the army back then, right? But I'm not trying to be rude, but I mean, it's not like Viking boys and girls. It's Asian boys and girls.
Yeah, I mean they're swamp
You know what I
trolls. They're
mean?
probably
It's like-
like, bodily. They're weak. You know they have to.
It's
use
probably, I'm
weapons
just
and
saying, like,
stuff.
there's not much of a difference. Like, they're both about the same size.
Yeah, they're frail humans.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's
Sure.
not like.
I'm not saying I'm impressed by
I
their
know,
physical
But
capability.
I'm just saying, if you really think about it. Like,
Yeah, I see what you mean. The playing field is far more even over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they don't care about trans sports. They just,
bro, it's
they
like,
just play the
they,
sport.
Mulan, bro.
Yeah.
That was the original.
Yeah. So Mulan was the original
Sport, bro.
Jenner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the original. Yeah, transport.
What's the other one? Leah Thomas. That's the
Oh.
one. Yeah.
I thought it was Lisa Leslie. Huh?
Swimmer. You know.
But you don't think about it though, like, because if it was a Viking, like to go from maybe a Viking woman, imagine a Viking woman versus one of those Mongolian armies.
Yeah, that's she's gonna wreck some havoc.
It's like, dude, it's like going.
It's. Have you seen Brock Lesnar's daughter?
Oh yeah.
Monster.
She's crazy, bro.
A monster of a human, male or female, just a monster of a human.
Yeah.
So yeah, she would have wreaked havoc. She would
Yeah.
just grab one of them by the throat and slam them up against the wall.
Now, what would you do? Okay, so you're general, and she does that, and then she F's you. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to say the horror word. Because you know how they would do
I'm
that.
offing myself way before that.
You would?
Oh yeah, I would.
But how would you feel as a man? Because you know back then it was like so crazy for a woman to do anything, right? And then a woman goes, she pillages your people, she conquers you, and then she bangs you.
Yeah, no.
Like, dude, I that's what I would do.
I'm dying before she allows that. Allow that. Yeah.
You cut your pee off.
I'm just dying. I'm stabbing my throat. She can have my way with my body after I'm dead, but not while I'm alive.
And Hose, you never wonder, like back in the day, because there was some people that did it. I know in the Civil War, but in those other wars, like
I mean, I wanted to like you look fat, and then you're just like, oh, and it stops them from being.
and then you punch him.
Yeah, just right in the throat, because you can't like make your throat super strong.
Yeah.
Some of you can. But
Yeah, some
that's
of these-
another kind of.
Hey, maybe
Only
her.
from the inside.
The Adam's apple.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll turn it to applesauce. But yeah, you know, you just insult her. You know, hurt her feelings. She starts crying. Now you can make an escape. So you know what? I'm not gonna off myself.
Why are you going to kill me? You're probably not over the man.
Yeah.
A man hurt you. You don't know how to be loved, Queen.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would try to.
Your baby
weasel-
daddy ain't shit.
I would try to I would try to weasel my way into like,
Yeah.
you're a queen. You're a strong, independent woman.
He's not paying you enough child
Yeah.
support. Go get him.
A man left you like this,
Yeah.
and now look at you. You're in your having
You're
to
in your
display your masculine energy.
You need to be in your feminine energy.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You've been mistreated your whole life. I can see
sure.
that you're a strong woman. I can see you as the mother of my children, right?
Yep.
And then now let's make the strongest empire. You know?
That's when we would create Women's Day, right? Let's celebrate a day to celebrate you, a woman. Today, let's start today.
That was the first Democrat, the first liberal, you
Yeah.
know? Like back then.
Yes.
Would you, if you, okay, so you're at a war like that with the Impalers or the Mongols, do you play dead? Or do you...
There's no playing dead.
Do
They
you-
stab all the bodies anyways.
Oh, really?
That was part of Vlad the Impaler's thing. He would...
He drinks the blood down, huh? The guy?
Yes, he would.
Oh, man.
That's where Dracula's based off of Vlad the Impaler.
And how come you can't even drink blood anymore, bro? Like back then, right? They're doing all these things normal, and now, oh, I'm allergic to blood. You got tetanus. You get.
Yeah,
Like,
didn't you notice though? Like when we go to steakhouse, right? We went to Ruth's Chris the other day. Like, oh, sir, how would you like your steak? And I said rare. I said barely sear it. They were confused. Remember? So I sliced that. You know?
Even I was confused. I was like, oh, if that means it's not going to be cooked.
Yes, and I go, oh, I'm aware of what it is. And I asked for a big bowl. They brought me the bowl. I just cut open the steak, let it bleed out a bit, and they just tipped it and sipped it like some broth. You can drink blood still. It's not human blood, but
yeah,
it's, you know. I mean,
but
we know
back
some
then
cows.
you could
close,
drink
you know?
human blood. Now it's like kids' blood.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't want that.
It's like, oh, you got to eat the part of the mom, whatever they cut the. What is it? Where they carry the fish or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
The placenta.
Placenta, right? Now you got to do that. But before, it's like, and that guy, he was also taking bath in blood, wasn't he? That Bath and Body Works, or no, the Impaler?
Yeah, he would cover himself. There was a, what's her name?
Like a face mask?
There's a woman who would do it too. Forgot her name. I'll have to look it back.
Logically, if you think about it, they were ahead of their time, right?
Oh, they were. That's why
Like, if you
they
think
lived the
about it.
best life.
Like, they were ahead of time. Like, their thing is like, okay, blood, like, they were almost like low-key scientists. You know, it's like, how do I get young blood? I'm going to get young blood in me.
Yeah.
You know?
Blood in, blood out. That's what they say.
Beep, beep, beep. So, okay, so what war, you're going to go into a war host? Which war would you go to try to survive? Because you
Which
said,
one to
oh,
survive?
the Mongols. Because I would play dead. Like, dude, the people on the Battle of Normandy or whatever, like, bro, why are you even running? Just lay in the ocean. Right? Or back then, maybe because I'm not a man. You know what I mean? I was like, was there a lot more honor back then? It's like, oh, I'm going to die for this.
Yeah, there was honor. I don't
Maybe,
know.
like, you would even
Dude,
die
you're
to
bored.
impress
You didn't have Netflix back then. You're like, oh, I need to catch the next episode of Cobra Kai.
I'm going to
It's
die
like,
to
oh,
impress
no.
my girlfriend. That's what they would.
There was more honor.
Back then, you know? Oh,
Yeah.
write you a letter and have my dog tag and stuff
Yep.
like that, you know?
The dog tag was the original username. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could pass it on to somebody else.
What would your dog tag say back if you weren't in war? Would it say something cool?
I don't know.
Or maybe would you put a curse
Well,
like that?
Normally people would put like a nickname or something on it.
But, dude, you couldn't put the fucking butter pig on Puerto Rican. You had to
I'm not gonna put that on. I have
would
to
you
think of
put?
something else. And Mr. Powers words.
Yeah. The powerful one.
Yeah.
Dude, the powerful one, low-key, that would be good, because then if whoever killed you, they're like, dude, I fucking killed the powerful
But
one.
yeah, so like that person becomes a legend in their place, and I inadvertently become the Goliath to their David. You know, I'm Goliath, they're David.
I
They
would,
have all the glory, but I'm still part of the story.
I would make something like, he made love before he killed me, 69, or something like that, you know?
I can't fit the butter pecan Puerto Rican, but you can say all that.
Mine was bigger. I was a higher ranked general. But I would make something like that where it was like maybe suspect, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I love gay men or something like that. You know, when then he brings
Sure.
the tag. Then
Yeah.
it's like, oh damn.
Yeah, it's like
I
an
killed-
insult. Yeah.
You killed the weakest. You know what I mean? And back then, guys, we're talking about back then. You know,
Yeah.
they were the weakest, not anymore.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
not anymore.
They're the strongest. Shout out to the lesbians.
Yeah, they found a cure for AIDS. But like it would say like I eat shit or something like that.
Yeah,
It's like
on your
turned into-
tag.
Yeah.
You think they have stuff like that or no?
They would have to because you would think that if a foreigner kills them, they don't. And some of them, a lot of them speak English, but let's say it's one that doesn't, and then they translate. Oh, what does this say? Like if it's a Vietnam War, right? I eat shit. What? You know, like they killed someone. That's their honor. But it just says, oh, eat shit. Like
And they take it back.
it's the last word.
Or you can curse your whole family. You know,
Oh, you could. And then they say
like
it.
curse.
They utter the words, and now their family's cursed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Like your daughters will be ugly for the rest of time.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you killed them.
And then eventually the bloodline dies out because no one even wants to get with their daughters.
And that's what happened in Asia, actually.
So you may have
right?
ended your
they
life,
started
but you
killing all the
ended-
boys.
Yeah, that's why China has a population decrease.
Yeah,
They've had a bunch of curses on them.
yeah, that's what they probably did.
Yeah.
Okay, so what war? You're going back to war, cause
I don't-
Civil War. You go to the Civil War, World War I, World War II. Maybe you go.
They're all brutal.
Which one's the most brutal? You think? Oh, I'm gonna go to.
Civil's
Maybe-
pretty bad.
which
World
one?
War 1 and 2. Those two. Those three are probably.
What about the Vietnam? People say, oh, Vietnam.
I mean, I'm sure Vietnam was gruesome, but there was something different about. I don't know if it's just the time and the lack of technology advancements that we've made, or the lack of that back then, that just make it seem more uncomfortable and awful. Vietnam would suck because there was almost no reason. Like, World War One started over a very stupid reason, but you had to defend yourself. World War Two seems like a very valid reason to start a war. but the Vietnam War, that was just a big, ridiculous, like, nonsense thing that the president tried punking Vietnam and we got punked. So that would suck to go and know that you are there for someone's ego.
Yeah, I heard that in Vietnam, but it's like that war that the numbers were all skewed because like the U.S. was over-reporting like
Yes.
the killings and stuff like that because they were getting like absolutely destroyed. Like,
Yeah, we were on their turf. They knew the jungle way better than
Yeah.
we did.
this old man, he was talking about. He's like they'd go into the jungle and there'd be like the Viet Congs. They were hiding on top of trees like that. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like you couldn't even make it in because you don't know where they're shooting from. Or you're like shooting you from the top of trees. Like everybody's killed.
Yeah.
He's like, you wouldn't even hit one, but then it's like they obviously got to report all the death of the male troops back home. So they're like, oh, they fought, a wild thing of whatever Vietnamese people, and they killed 50 of them or whatever. And it was like they had to make up numbers. I mean, what do you think is maybe the stat that's the most faked? That's like, it has to be like fake stats, right? Back in the day, like
Yeah, I know it's unpopular and I don't share it much because I'm sure people think I'm weird already, but this would probably trip out more like this guy's a lunatic. That's why World War II always fascinated me, because even as a kid, I believed everything that happened. I just didn't believe the stats behind it. The stats, just over 75 million people died. If you can think about, that's more than the state of California's population. That's an insane number of people, and I understand, like, okay, one atom bomb took out 100,000 people just like that. I can't imagine how much was 75 million people. Where, like, they say 16 million Russians died at the hand of Stalin, and the war, obviously, but he caused famine to, like, starve out certain families and stuff. They would just execute them if they didn't comply. Just that number so big that I can't wrap my head around it. And maybe it's for that reason I don't believe it.
yeah,
It's
maybe
just
that's
too
why
much.
it's that such of a crazy thing. Because if you think about it, then the Germans, they haven't done anything since.
And I know they're estimations, but I mean, even if it's wrong by 3 to 5 million, give or take, that's still an insane amount of numbers, and I just can't wrap my head around that many people died, because it's such a... Because right now we have 330 plus million people in the U.S. alone.
Yeah.
That's almost a third of the population worldwide that died in a war. Pretty... I don't know. Maybe it's true, I've never believed it. And I asked it in like...
Or maybe it's hard to believe too, because like, oh, why don't you just rebel, right? If it's that many people.
Yeah, like...
Or was the gun hard to get back then? I was like, you think, oh, this guy has a gun. Like, dude, because back then, imagine the first guy that pulled up with a machine gun, dude. You're like, damn.
Not to... I mean, I don't know. I didn't intend on this.
And you
getting
got
so
a musket?
deep, but I think the thing is, like, if all the army people just decided to not do anything that they were commanded of, who would do anything?
Yeah.
Like, what is like the president, like Trump or Putin or someone? What are they gonna do? Grab a gun and start shooting? Like, the army would just shoot back at them at that point if they all agreed. But that's, I think, the whole point of the control. And I believe in having an army. Don't get me wrong, but like, it just takes, like, if everyone in the army just say like, nah, we're just not gonna fight this war, nothing happens.
But I don't think the army, I don't think it would be that lit anymore. You think so, bro? It's like,
I don't
bro,
think it's
now
ever
you go,
been
because
honor.
now they say, oh.
There was more honor, I'd say, back then.
Yeah, and back then you saw, oh, they could do push-ups. Now that they're not athletes, you know what I mean? With they said most Americans, like.
I even think just the reasoning behind it, like this.
People are like, oh, I don't fuck with that.
Especially with how government gets exposed more now than back then. Like, you think, like, dude, like, I'm not going to war for
They
you.
would do the sign, this is not normal.
Yeah.
On TV. Dude, imagine you're like on the fucking stealth bomber. Just you hold your sign and this pilot. This is not normal.
I'm neurodivergent. But yeah, I think back then there was a more sense of patriotism, because I think the corruption was more hidden. I mean, there were some that were, I think, maybe obvious. Maybe 2020 is always hindsight is always 2020. But even back then, you could see some of it, the propaganda. But now it's almost so blatant, and it's hard to ignore to know that they just divide us, and it makes it almost impossible to want to even fight for your country at that point. I think that's why the recruiting numbers suck.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to fight your war for? You're making a war over what?
Yeah.
Just like, yeah.
Dude, and people, you get amped up before, oh, I'm going to go to the army. Remember people want to say,
I remember even...
I'm going to get some nice boots. You know, people would say, oh, I'm going to get nice boots. I'm going to get...
I know we were younger, but you remember September 11th?
Yeah. I was in
And that's
Mexico.
That's when all the, like, people, I don't know, I guess maybe you didn't see this, but the army would recruit you, they'd give you cars. They would give you like that's how they that was part of like their
And
deal.
you're gonna, dude, if you
would get
fail
a
for that,
car.
you're
It's like-
where are you gonna be driving your car?
Yeah, your auto loan. What's your interest rate? Your life.
6% is the highest that they can charge people.
6 feet under is your
6%.
APR. Yeah, that's literally like your car loan, but you just get, that's how they would hook you. Oh, you get a car.
That's still a thing.
Is it still a thing?
Yeah, you can only get 6%, or you can terminate your like a lease and stuff like that. Like if you're leasing,
Yeah.
you can say I got my deployment papers. I'm gonna terminate it. I'm gonna break your contract. So if you have bad credit and you're trying to get it out of a
If you
car,
want to drive
join the
around in a
military.
G-Wagon, join the military, you get the G-Wagon for 6 months. Don't pay a dime,
Get a lease,
and then defect on it.
and then
yeah.
they can't report on your credit anyways.
Correct. And then just stay at one of the embassies over there. It's not going to follow you.
Okay, where do you want to go for the embassy,
For the embassies?
dude? Because there's some like, dude,
Japan. I know it's popular. Maybe Thailand. Thailand has a lot of great food, a lot of good weather. Almost too hot.
yeah, but
sometimes,
I was gonna say, bro, they have fans. Like imagine, it's so humid and so hot, and you only have a
fans.
fan.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that would suck. I just wouldn't want to be like in Uganda or Tonawonsi or.
No, I'm thinking good city. I'm not going there.
Imagine being like in Africa like that, like the Democratic Republic of the Congo. You know what I mean? Huh?
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
I wouldn't go to Beirut because of the controversies out there.
What's that one? I just thought it was the cafe.
They had to like close it down because there was like the terrorism and stuff.
That's a country too, small one.
Beirut, yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, Beirut's a city in Lebanon.
Oh, okay, Lebanon. That's a
But
real
that's where
country.
the
your house,
embassy is.
Lebanon?
Yes.
How come dude? One time I got so mad at this guy, bro. He was wearing a shirt from the Iraq soccer team, Iraq, and I'm like, bro, it's a dope jersey, bro. I'm like, I'm like Iraq. He's like, yeah, and then like a couple weeks later, like, I asked him, like, dude, like, are you from Iraq or something? Like, I asked him. He's like, oh no, I'm Persian. I'm like, bro, you were wearing. He's Iraqi. He's like, no, Persian. Like the Persian, the empire doesn't even exist.
No, dude, that's a Pokemon now.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're a cat.
You're a female.
There's a large cat, Persian.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like that guy, he got mad. He's like, oh, don't tell me what I am. I'm like, bro, you're not. It's like if I'm saying I'm Mayan, which technically they're still Mayan people, but whatever. Toltec or some shit.
Yeah, you might be able to trace back to it, but you're not really that.
Yeah, it's no longer.
Because it's more about, I mean, bloodline is cool, but
Yeah, don't
cultural
stand on
norms are
business like
different,
that,
yeah.
Oh, I'm Easter Island, dog. Come on.
Dude, yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
Dude, you have no basket full with no eggs. You know,
I'm Easter Island.
You're counting
dog.
chicks that will never hatch.
That's like, I'm like, bro, but I noticed that there's a lot of people maybe that they don't like the stigma of, like, oh, this guy, if I say maybe that I'm from Iraq or Iran, people are going to think that I'm crazy or something. Maybe that's why he says it, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
But also Persia's like, bro, like, Corey, are you in the fucking movie? You're the Prince of Persia? Like,
what, are you going to sell me a rug?
Bro, hey, I'm
sell
not...
me some essential oils as a deodorant?
Dude, that did pop up on my feed like a Persian rug house.
Oh.
And it was one that was like maybe 100 years old that they sleep in the family.
Sure.
And it was like, bro, it had like so much dirt, like you could barely see the design. And they have professional rug cleaners.
That's been on my algorithm too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, and they
and it's
clean
somehow
it.
enjoyable to watch.
Dude, because so much goo and stuff comes out of it, right? And like, they have like, dude, they're like...
The buffers that just like...
Oh,
push
bro,
off the
like,
dirt.
dude, where's that technology in America, bro? You're giving me a rug doctor. Like, dude, I want one of those Persian...
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Nah, bro, I
And
want
all
one of
they
the Middle
have-
Eastern freaking bath
They
bomb.
just have
you know
a
what I mean?
stainless steel rake, and they just...
Yeah.
No, I want that.
They hit that, you know what I mean?
I want that Middle Eastern Squid Games right there. Just
Dude, but the rug, it looked like it was brand new. And you're like, dude, can you imagine, bro, in your family, you have a rug. Oh, this is a 7-year-old rug. I made love to your great-great-grandmother on. Would you even wash it? If it had, like, that many backstories, I was like...
dude, you think they intentionally let like a falafel roll off on it? And they're like 10-second rule, and they count to 10, and then they taste a little bit of their family dynasty right there.
That's where they go out, pour one for the homies. You know what I mean? Like,
pour one out for the homies.
What's up, Augustus? Shout out, Augustus.
Tzatziki sauce. Dude, your grandfather was giving your grandma the tzatziki sauce. They're just like
a little bit of that chicken finger.
Oh, let me sweat out some shawarma on this carpet.
You're trying to get her skewed, huh? but I didn't realize like how expensive, dude. And now the rugs here that I get, go to Bath and Body or whatever to get your rug. Home Goods.
Yeah,
bro, look at the rugs.
now.
It's falling apart. Look at it.
It's polyester,
polyamorous,
which gives you what do they call them? Microplastics. It's leaching into the system. At least back, they're like, oh, you're gross for licking a carpet that your grandma was squirting on, but at least that's a natural, organic, fully organic. It's not microplastics ruining your taint.
Okay, so would you clean the would you clean the carpet if it was in your family for hundreds of years?
Yeah, I absolutely would.
Really? You wouldn't be like, yo, I'm walking.
I gotta put my dirt in it. I can't have theirs. I'm starting the new generation.
Maybe you clean it and you put it in a little cup, like a little bit of the filth in there, like a little
almost
water.
like a little urn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you put it on.
I would do
You
that.
see that water? That's from when we last cleaned the.
Yeah, I would do that.
And dude, imagine the.
But I would dye it too, and I would make layers, so each generation's a different color. How like when they would do
so
that
when
sand
you
art?
unearth it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Dude, we need to get because Latinos don't have that. If you think about it, like we don't. What kind of traditions do we have that's like, oh, is that cool? Like
having babies early. That's the only one.
Yeah.
And I didn't even do it.
It's because it's like anti-contraceptive. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Like that's like the cultures. Like, bro, they're like the ones that always.
And then you got Latino grandparents who are 40 dating an 18-year-old, not from their family, but like from another family.
Hey,
because the math lines up,
So like Latino guys, do you think it's like what? It's like they don't pull out, or is it that their parents never put them on game? Because it's like, oh, no, you're my son, he's my angel. He's never gonna have sex,
That's exactly what it is.
You think that's exactly what it is? That then like the kid
My
is
son,
like,
he's not gonna do that. He's a good guy.
He's getting
He's
that
not
pecker
going
wet
to
at
be
church.
Yeah. And so the kid hides the girlfriend, and then the girlfriend
It hides
also
his
has
semen inside of the girlfriend.
Yeah, and the girlfriend also doesn't know about that because her parents haven't talked. She's an angel. Oh, mi amor, un angelito.
She's a devil.
Yeah. And meanwhile, they've got that. He's giving her the esquite and the mayo.
Oh damn! That Cinco de Mayo.
Out pops the baby,
Bro, and I'm not trying to be rude, bro, but there's like so many girls like that it's like, damn, like they're barely. And dude, it's like 2 Latinos, bro. That's like hyper fuel. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Bro, you sneeze and she's pregnant. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why That's why it's like
they
for
got
me.
some overactive ovaries.
Yeah, that's why for me it's scary to make love to Latina chicks too. Maybe now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that's why I've restrained myself or refrained myself from dating too many Latinas.
That makes sense.
You don't want to. They're like the Latinos are like the poison dart frog of the Cubans.
They latch on and you're not letting go. Yeah. Your life is over.
Just a little.
Your life
drop.
is over. Yeah.
You're done, dog.
All because you couldn't pull out your churro in time. Come on, man. And all they have to offer you is a bland little concha. Come on.
Oh, it's all dry, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's been left out.
Yeah,
That's pan de muertos. That's not pretty.
You can smell the fucking corn tortilla flour down there. Because they just made some tortillas before they went over.
Oh, bro, before you got here, actually, I was like, oh, I'm going to go. There's this white lady. And I think I told you about her son. She was like the sweetest white lady. And she adopted 2 kids. Because she's like, oh, I'm going to have like Division I athletes.
Yeah.
And dude, she got catfished with adoptions. So, like, they were like black babies, right? Like, so they're growing up black, and like everybody. It was Sam and it was like I can't remember but it was like Sam and I can't remember his brother's name, and like Neil, I think it was his name. So, dude, she was putting them in basketball, like soccer, baseball. So it's like, oh, they're gonna grow up to go. They're gonna go to the league,
bro. Yeah.
Dude. And dude, once they hit like maybe like 9 years old, they were just Asian kids, bro. They were Blasian.
They were from Laos.
Yeah, exactly. That's where they were from.
I have powers.
And like, dude, they like didn't grow like past like 5 feet.
Yeah.
So, bro, like and they hated sports. Like since they got sports forced upon them, like at such a young age, like, dude, once they hit like 12, 13, bro, like they just video games, bro. They want nothing.
She was probably extra mad too because now she can tell that they're always questioning her the way they're looking at her, right? Just
why are my kids always squinting?
Why are they always quizzical?
But that lady, one time she's like, oh, I'm gonna make she said she was gonna make like white people sushi or some shit, right?
White people sushi?
Yeah, so I was like, okay. And now she's got Blasian kids. I'm like, dude, who knows, right? Maybe they put her on game. They could be spies, right?
They
Fucking
might be,
Sam and
yeah.
Neil. They could be 40 now, for all I know. Once we found out they had Asian descent. Dude, and she's like, oh, I'm going to make this white people sushi, right? So, dude, everybody's like fired up. Oh, we're going to have white people sushi. And this is like in the maybe early 2000s. So, like, sushi was even crazy to think about.
It was hyper exotic.
Yeah, it was. Because now it's like oh, let's go get sushi. But then it was like, and now they're making white people sushi. You know, like, oh damn, already white. You know, the whites got to this.
Dude, that's sloppy Joe with rice, really.
And usually white people take it to the next level, right?
Yeah.
Like whites, they appropriate something next level, right?
Yeah, true.
So it's like we go there, bro, and white people sushi. Are you ready? They got fucking flour tortillas with fucking peanut butter and jelly, and they would roll them and then just cut them like this, so it was like a fucking sushi.
Of course.
And they would put them in the freezer so it would like cool down, kind of like Uncrustable.
Wait, what would they put in it? So they had the tortilla with what?
Peanut butter and jelly. And then they would roll it so it would like it would turn into like a swirl, and they cut it like a sushi.
If you're on keto, make it a carb-free tortilla.
Bro, and like, dude, I remember like everybody showed up for white people sushi, bro, and they hit you with that shit. Like I was like, oh, dude, that fucking sucked. But anyways, today I'm like, I don't have any cookies or any sweets. I'm like, damn, I kind of want a sweet. So like, what do I have, bro? I had one flour tortilla left and peanut butter, and I have preserves because I make a little bit of money, so I have raspberry preserves.
Hey, get some of that real shit, okay?
Bro. And I pull this fucking tortilla out of the bottom of the thing, dude. I take like my time, right? Because I like to keep my peanut butter inside of the fridge.
Yeah.
So I like it to be cold, crunchy. So it takes a while to take out a damn container. So I go. I finally roll it out. All right, dude. I'm just gonna make it like them. Like I know the recipe. 3 ingredients, right? Throw a little bit of honey. I got fancy. I roll it, and I cut them. Right? Boom, 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 boom. Dude, I eat that. Dude, that tortilla, like it tasted so fucking bad. I looked at the back, bro.
Of course, that was gonna taste good.
No, the tortilla was expired in July of last year.
God, man.
And it's like one of those carb-free.
So you were tasting mold, is what
It was one of those carb-free tortillas.
Yeah.
It just tasted like mold and chemicals, bro. It was so fucking gross.
What you were doing is you were licking that Persian rug.
You know, and then you know how like your fridge, bro, like it tastes like poison. You know what I'm talking about?
Course,
Like,
yeah.
dude, you get hit with some of that Freon or whatever. And then my fridge, bro, I got that 1976. You know?
Yeah, of course.
That 1976 Kenmore, bro. That was so nasty, bro. I was just like, oh, this is what I get for trying white people sushi.
Yeah, it was sending you a signal, the universe.
You ever tried something like that? That was like, you got catfish until like somebody hyped a certain food. Like, one for me was like sloppy joes. Like, I remember white people were like, oh, sloppy joes.
Man.
Dude, they're so good. You're going to love sloppy joes.
I hated it.
And then, exactly,
I
right?
hated
It was like,
sloppy.
bro, what is this?
I hated it to the point where I physically made myself ill seeing a sloppy joe. I'm not even kidding you. When they had sloppy joes in school, like the sloppy joe day, because I was already tricked and bamboozled, I would see the sloppy joe. I'd get whatever the other option was, but I'd look at the sloppy joe and I would start to feel nauseous because of my hatred of it.
That was the same with me.
That's fucking shitty ass meat, the terrible sauce.
And the school sloppy joes were different.
God,
huh?
man.
It was like the meat was so refined. It was like meat particles. Remember?
It was like
so
pellets.
tiny.
Yes. I was not happy.
It was like pellets.
I did not enjoy it one bit.
But what about?
This is what you like? Yeah.
Or maybe a restaurant that somebody was like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna invite you over to this restaurant." Okay, I'll tell you mine because mine was this was like 2000 maybe 10. So it's like I was already working, already like had my own money. Oh, let's go to Ho Ho Gourmet or whatever, the Asian restaurant on State Street.
Never been.
Bro, and like that one, they like their orange chicken was crazy, like, and they would hook you up, bro. Like you'd order like one of the orange chickens would be like enough to feed 4 people.
Yeah.
So it was like one of the best places. Like, dude, it was just like packed, and I finally can afford to go to this place.
Sure.
And what I always like Asian food, I like Kung Pao chicken, you know. So I get Kung Pao chicken, and bro, I get there and they literally like, I didn't even eat my food. Like it was just in the middle for the table. You know how we order?
For the table.
So it's like, I'm keeping it there. Like the guy comes back. I'm like, hey, I don't know what you brought these vegetables out. I'm like, I don't think that's mine. I'm like, I ordered Kung Pao chicken, and he's like, oh, just a Kung Pao chicken. And he grabs the thing, and he grabs, like, you know how they're so good with the fucking forklifts or whatever. Dude, he gets like a sliver of chicken this small. He's like, you see the comb? I'm like, dude, I'm like, that.
Pissed.
Oh, I got so mad. I'm like, oh, next time you come here, you tell me. I tell the chef to put more chicken. I'm like, put more chicken in it now, bro.
Yeah, I'm not waiting till next time.
I'm like, I'm not gonna, dude. And I never went again. People say that it's like fire again, but dude, I just remember like I literally ordered a whole plate. You got like particles of chicken, not even like a couple of pieces where you're like, okay, I got jibbed.
Sure.
I'm not ordering again, but like I didn't even eat it because I thought it was just like a vegetable dish. And then the guy had so I
That's awful.
and I think that's what happened to them because they got like so popular, then they got greedy and they're like, oh no, I stopped taking care of customer, the whole customer leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody goes.
I can remember now, and I'm glad this place closed down because they deserve to be shut down. But do you remember Hoagie Yogi's?
No, I never went there.
Yeah, I didn't go either. Well, I went once, and it was right before they closed. Hoagie Yogi. It was a place where they had subs and like frozen yogurt. Okay, and I'm an ice cream.
How long ago?
I never. This was like teenage years, like early teenage years. So same with you. Like, I got a job. One of my buddies, we were hanging out in the summertime. Oh, let's go walk to Hoagie Yogi. And I go, what is it? Like, I always saw it, but I didn't know what it was. He goes, oh, they have the best sub sandwiches, and they have frozen yogurt. I'm like, frozen yogurt? So you just freeze yogurt? It's like, oh, it's like ice cream, but it's yogurt. I'm like, so it's ice cream or is it yogurt? Because remember, like, I'm a Puerto Rican kid. I don't know about this stuff. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So now we're going to a restaurant. Keep in mind, I'm aware that a lot of white people like cold sandwiches. I'm not a cold sandwich guy. Sometimes I'll have one. It doesn't bother me. But if I'm paying what I feel a high price mark, it better be fantastic and amazing, or at least it better be a hot sandwich, melted cheese, hot meat, whatever. We go to Hoagie Yogi. I was 14, 15? So this is like 2005. I'm paying for a combo $13.
Oh, dang.
And $13 now
Back
for a
then?
combo is pretty high. Back then, I'm like, okay, this sandwich better be one of the best things, and this frozen yogurt better be fucking on point. They just handed me a sandwich that to me resembled going to Walmart, going to their deli section, and buying a pre-wrapped sub.
Hit you with that Sub-Zero.
I didn't even try it, and I looked and was, this is what we came here for? I was, dude, you gotta try it. It's so good. I bet it was any fucking cold-ass sandwich with deli meats and a sliced fucking American Kraft Singles cheese, which I like, but not for $13. And then the frozen yogurt, it didn't taste like ice cream. It was just yogurt, and I like yogurt, but it's not ice cream. I was like, don't ever bring me here again. This place fucking sucks. And I think a year or two after that, they closed all of them down. I'm like, good, fucking go close. Fucking close. Like, go fuck yourself. You remember Yogi Bear?
Yeah.
That was like I don't know if it was an official sponsor or an unofficial sponsor. They always had Yogi Bear in their commercials.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I guess that makes it an official sponsor, but yeah.
What would it be back then? Like, though, like, if you remember...
Or Blimpie. You remember Blimpie?
I think so. But
Also another sub place. Fucking shitty-ass subs, too.
Oh, no, Blimpie, dude, when I went, I thought it was pretty decent, bro.
I did not enjoy it.
I was hungry, but...
Maybe I didn't know what to order, but
It was on, like, California Avenue, right? I think so.
There's a couple
At least the
of
one
them.
that I went to that Blimpie.
Yeah, there was one that was on 9th East and... What, like 74 South or something like that, but...
But you know how you brought up like the Walmart sandwiches, like those like French ones?
Yeah.
Like, but those though, like back in the day when you were going on a road trip.
No, they're fine now, but I doctor them up. I'll get my other more deli meats and I'll load it up more. They're fine, but not $13 combo fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, for a road trip, like I would always do the same too. Like I get
Sure.
a couple of those, enhance them,
Some
and then,
chips, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
And then those are, and I don't know why, but those only taste good when you're doing a
Same
road,
with Gandolfo's. You remember
a road trip.
Gandolfo's?
Dude, Gandolfo's, it was, when I sold cars, it used to be buy one, get one free for
I never liked Gandolfo's.
breakfast sandwiches.
Never liked them.
They had too many options, bro. That's the thing. Is like you go to a sandwich place, they got 30 or not even 30, bro. I was gonna say like 30,000. They have
No,
like
you got to do
100 different options for a
no
sandwich.
more than 12, and then let the patients, let the customers decide what they want on theirs or not.
Yeah. So guys, like once you have 100 sandwiches, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, who's gonna take
And
the
it's
time to
all
read
the
that?
same sandwich. Like one of them is like, oh, it's a Polish sandwich. The other one says hot dog sandwich.
Yeah,
So it's like you don't even, and it's both are the same thing. Just one of them comes with a different bun.
correct.
It's like you don't even need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just tell me what choice of bread you want.
Yeah.
Don't make another sandwich of it. Just say, there's this sandwich, and you can choose from these 3 different breads. That's where Subway figured it out.
Yeah. Dude, and you know what I love from Subway? If you remember back then, the Flatisa.
I
Remember
think
that?
Subway, they always, ironically enough, always had 14 and under different subs. What was your saying? Flotisa?
The
What was that?
Flatisa, you remember that one?
Fuck that is.
Yeah, don't say it like that. What was it? It's when Subway had their own pizza.
No, I don't remember that.
So they would do it with their flatbread. It's when they were promoting their flatbread a lot. So you could go there and they would make you a pizza, bro. So you like whatever the same toppings that they have there.
Sure.
You could put it on the flatbread and they would throw it in the oven.
Okay.
And dude, honestly, it was pretty damn good because it's just like their bread and their thin bread is actually pretty good.
Okay, they're flatbreads.
Yeah, the flatbread. Yeah. So they would put it on that, and you can just order like, you want a meatball one? You know, you want one with like, dude,
Yeah.
get some of that, bro.
You remember back in the day how Walmart had everything? They sold
iPods.
pets. Do you remember when they sold pets?
Yeah. At the.
It was crazy
Almost
to
like
think
PetSmart.
that a store like Walmart had
Fish.
saltwater fish, freshwater fish. They had lizards, snakes, like different bugs. It baffles my mind to think of like what Walmart was to me as a kid. That you could just find anything there that was just like unorthodox.
But that's when there was like pride in retail shopping. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, because you could go get lost.
Yeah, because you could do anything you wanted to.
Yeah, like malls were also dope. You know?
Yeah, because you would go play video games too. Like if you knew your mom was gonna be a long time.
They had the controller with the GameCube.
Yeah, and they had several for multiple kids to play. Off.
Hey, Badger, come over here. What are you doing, dude? Badger. Yeah, but I remember, and then, dude, what we would do is like we would go. It's already past when we would get in trouble, but we would go there when they would restock, and we would just steal all the video games.
At
Me and
Walmart?
my buddies, yeah, because it was like early 2000s, and
I
then
was never a criminal.
they had the cards like literally like just all the stuff that's gonna go behind glass. There, like if you go in the morning, all the stuff was just like there wasn't even a cashier. It was just like out there waiting to be stocked.
Yeah.
And they had like all the new games, all the new movies.
Yeah.
No good cameras. And that was it. Hey Badger, come over here, dude. Come over here. Come here. Yeah, but that's like so we would get all the games like that.
Yeah, I never did theft. I didn't believe in. No, I hated the idea.
Dude, I love the thrill. I don't know why, Hoss.
I didn't enjoy.
But it was addicting. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It was like you got hooked. Cause I remember
I think I viewed it just because like I did have like some of that prejudice towards me. Like I didn't even think of. I just remember like I was at the gas station with my brother.
Oh.
I told you the story,
Yeah.
right? And she accused me of stealing.
Yeah.
Like, you can check my pockets right now. I refuse to leave. And then she just kind of like looked at me. I can tell that like I got her, and she was mad because there was a bunch of other people too that realized that she was the one being ridiculous about those claims. And from then on, I'd say I will never give them like the reasoning to think that I'm a thief. So I was always anti-theft.
Freaking Badger's going crazy.
Yeah, I know. What did you give him?
No, he likes Puerto Ricans. He miss you.
Who doesn't?
Hey, we're gonna get in trouble, Badger. Come on, dog. People are gonna look at your PP online, bro. Relax.
We used to sell hamster pickles. You know, just come full circle now.
No, but for me, it was like P. Eddie Guerrero. You know, I lie, I cheat, I steal. That was like his theme song.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, okay, I'm gonna lie, I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna steal.
No, I never wanted to be a criminal.
No, for me, well, obviously, I'm not a criminal now. For me, I just understood the law. You know, it's like if you're a kid, like, what's gonna be the worst that happens?
Sure.
You know.
I didn't want that though. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
yeah.
So, you know.
Some of that self pride, you know.
Yeah.
It looks good on people's pride.
Hey, come on! Pride, isn't it about time?
Every June.
No, dude, I don't know. For me, I was like always love just like trying to get away with something.
I like
I
getting
always
away
like-
with fights. Like I would fight. But
I like to
other
try
than that-
to push the line to see, like, dude, the craziest thing I ever did. I'm not sure if I told you. Like, I was in Mexico. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to figure out how electricity works.
Mhm.
So like, I'm like paying attention to like, well, all the power lines are, you know, how they go into a transformer, dude. And there was a giant cable that goes right behind my grandma's, like on the second story. It goes right by it, so I just have to get on the edge, and you can touch the cable, bro. And I've touched that fucking cable.
Sounds
It was
so
a dead.
stupid.
It was a dead wire, bro. I was
Thank
like,
goodness.
I was maybe 4.
That's
But I'm just saying, like, I always had that, what is it? Curiosity or something, or what is it called?
Yeah, curiosity. Yeah.
You never had that as a kid? Like, we were like, oh,
I
wanna...
did, but not when I knew. Like, I was pretty self-aware. I don't know if that's my parents always warning me about certain things, and like just seeing people get hurt, even like on the island or in Florida, because people are wild out there, right?
Yeah.
So I would see that, and I'd see that they would either die or not, like be the same afterwards when they get home from the hospital. I'm like, I'm not trying to be like that. I want to stay safe. I don't want to do anything stupid. I don't feel like getting in trouble and having it ruined. You know, like cops. You know what I mean? You can tell it ruined their life. Like, I'm not trying to do any of that stuff.
Ah, fuck, dude. But I would watch Cops back in the day when I was young, just for the.
I enjoyed Cops.
Dude, that was. Well, we talked about that. Cops by. Did we talk here about Cops, or was it on Talking Society when we were talking about like?
No, I'm pretty sure it was here.
When it was like that, and then you go to America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
That's the one I always, bro.
That
America's
one
Most
freaked
Wanted,
me out,
bro.
man.
Like, I love that one.
There was one that was here at Cafe Keem.
It's an Asian
in West
one?
Jordan. It was an Asian restaurant. He was a white guy though, and it was a cafe that my parents and I always went to. They had this like delicious charred pork that they would do on the white rice, and they would put like their. It's not teriyaki sauce, but it's one of their sauces. But my dad and I went there to get some takeout, and there were cops and everything there. They had arrested one of the like a guy who had murdered like 11 people. This was...
Oh, damn, at the restaurant?
Yeah, this was like 98, 97, that era.
Oh, no.
But
97,
he was
I was
on
barely
America's
getting
Most
to
Wanted.
Mexico, dog.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah, that show always freaked me out because I know that they were on loose. And then when I found out why he was doing it, the guy that did it, the host of the show, it was like it was honorable. Like the fact
Hey,
that he...
somebody for that guy, sorry, they killed his daughter or something
His
for
son.
that guy? Oh, his son.
Someone murdered his son, and he just decided to do America's Most Wanted to try to get raise awareness around like these pretty much assholes, pieces of shit, trying to bring him to justice. So it was like pretty crazy and honorable. So it made me like it even more for that reason.
And what happened to the guy now? He still does it, or?
No, I think that show retired.
He's not even famous anymore, huh? That guy. Bro, they got to bring him back like Mr. Beast or something. You know what I mean? Has to like.
He was on.
Dude,
stuff,
if he's with Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
Bro, Theo Vaughn needs to get him on the pod.
Yeah, if he's still alive. I mean, he was pretty old back then, wasn't he?
Oh, he looked good though, bro. He was like you
No,
couldn't.
Well, he used to be a cop.
You couldn't tell if he was black or if
Let me
he
see
was.
what his name is.
It wasn't Chris Hansen, I don't think so, but
No.
bro, he looked nice. I put in the number. Augustus, Javi's not here, so we don't got the. I'm not sure we got the setup, but I got the phone over here, so we can try.
Is he wanting us to promote something?
No, I think he said he might try to call in. You know, he's gonna give us a tip.
What tip are you trying to give us? Okay, no homo.
Dude, I saw this guy. He put a joke of like, and he's not even a funny comedian. It's Eric Griffin. You know that guy? He's been on a couple commercials, but he put one of like he lives where the Hollywood fires or whatever they were.
Sure.
So he's like, I never you never go through it until like you finally get that call, and it's like, you get the things like, oh, you must evacuate. He's like, so you're packing a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
You get the alerts, like, so you're sitting there like, what belongings are even worth taking, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you're there with your belongings. He's like, and finally, it's been a couple of weeks. The fires went down, and he's like, and I got another alert, and he's like, thank God it was an Amber Alert. I was like, whew.
Oh man, the guy's name is John Walsh, by the way.
John Washington, he's dead or no?
No, he's still alive. He's 79 years old though.
See, I thought he's not that, but 79
No, I
now.
mean, I'm sure he's like still in like really good condition. Like he'd be able to hold a conversation and talk about stuff. So it's pretty crazy.
Because he would be, like, maybe he's just sad. You know what I mean? Now he's accepted. Maybe that's how he didn't accept that his daughter passed away, or his son.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna keep doing.
It said it was 25 seasons, so I don't know if it's still going.
Oh wow, 25.
So that, or they just did so many seasons of it.
So what other but what about like later in life? I was like, when you were an adult, like, you didn't think of a spot like that where you got bamboozled or no? Did you go to a casino? What was the first time you would go to a casino? Have you ever even been to a casino?
I've been to a casino. I do not like them.
No?
I don't like losing money like that at all.
But what if you played a little bit of blackjack? Oh, I'm gonna hit.
I have, and I don't like losing money. I hate losing money, especially if I work, because you don't get anything in return. Yeah, you have the thrill of possibly winning, but I'm not like that. I like, if I give you money, I want something immediately in return.
So what can you play, the Puerto Rican game where they roll the dice, or which one do you think?
Well, I've played blackjack. That's the only one I know because I can count to 21. I understand the cards, And even if I get banned, like, they're better than me, obviously, but at least I have a chance. And I have won only twice, and I walked away with like $170.
Oh, really?
Because it was at Wendover, so it was pretty cheap.
But that one is like the one that you win pretty fast, right?
Yeah. So it goes by pretty fast. Like, you can go up pretty fast, and you go down. Like, you lose money pretty quickly there, too. I've played the penny slots. I just don't want to sit there and play. Like, I like video games, but I'm not pushing a button. Just one and doing nothing. Just waiting for the things to tick by.
The penny slots is like the free games that they had at Walmart, you know?
Yeah,
Like...
literally, yes. It was like literally there just to numb your mind. And then there was all the cigarette smoke, and that overwhelms me. I do not like cigarette smoke. So I'm not a casino guy. I've never.
It's just so
them.
you don't get FOMO, the little penny slots.
I don't care. Like, none of it does anything for me. I don't like board games either. And
yeah, dude, that's why
all casinos are expensive board games. Like, I'm losing money. I don't even like playing board games for free. I'm not gonna lose $300 on it.
Okay, would you do like there's like a Dave and Buster's casino like that where it's like you can play some games like the hoop game, and maybe you can win money that way or not? That would be kind of cool, right?
That'd be a bit more fun, entertaining. I wouldn't want to gamble on it because again, I don't want to lose money, but at least I'm doing something that is entertaining.
Because I was gonna say if we make maybe this will be a pen post. If we make like a casino like that, that's a revolutionary casino. That's like I'm gonna bet $5 that I can make this shot or something like that, right? On one of those like things, or that I'm gonna get 6th place on Mario Kart racing or whatever.
Sure.
And you're doing it, like that would be kind of fun. You don't think so? And like all of you guys, so like let's say there's like a 10 Mario Kart machines, and 10 people can play at a time. You can bet to see who wins. Wouldn't that be kind of fun?
Yeah, it'd be pretty fun.
But then you get like the one fucking nerd that's just there the whole day.
That's just like.
Would you put a limit?
Well, I mean,
how many races?
Keep in mind, casinos are rigged against the people that play. So if you're going to create that, you're going to find a way to rig it against everybody for the house to give the most amount of money.
So would it be okay? So maybe
I think that's how Wreck-It Ralph started.
The way that maybe
cheated.
We set it up is that so maybe let's say everybody can bet. So there's 10 people. They all can race, right? We're gonna play a Mario Kart. They can race. We keep like 20%, and then the rest gets sent to the winner, or no?
I don't think that's gambling. That's just a winning pool.
But we still keep money, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we would keep money. I wouldn't consider that, I guess, gambling. I mean, maybe.
That's what I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make you a safe haven. That's my point.
Well, I mean, if we're the
so
ones
now
doing
you would think that it's stupid.
Yeah, but I'm not participating. Other than I'm facilitating.
I'm just saying, like, okay, so now it's like quarters, basically, but we could win money. You still wouldn't go?
Look, you're asking me to facilitate, and if I facilitate, I'm guaranteed a portion of the money every time. That's not going to bother me because I know I'm not losing.
But it's regardless. Like if we go to quarters now, we're still losing the money.
Yeah, we're losing $5 playing a game I enjoy. That's the point. I get a return on it. I don't enjoy any gambling game. I don't enjoy counting my cards to 21. I don't know how to play poker. I don't enjoy pushing a button to see 5 cherries, no freaky, and 7 sevens scroll across the screen. Nothing about the gambling life entertains me. None of the games are fun.
What about
Domino? I like video games. So like, if I'm betting on video game, that's different because at least I even still enjoy the video game.
We can make you one Mortal Kombat. Like you battle per $10 a piece to battle, or maybe 5, right? You can pick different tiers.
To win how much money?
Well, you just win the opponent's money.
Whatever the pool is.
Yeah, so it's like a duel.
Yeah, see, but then at that point I would just rather go to an arcade, pay some change.
And you beat the computer and beat AI.
Oh, no, I can play another player and not lose money. I just, cost a couple quarters, we'll play a game, but like, for what, for $10? No.
Okay, so what would it take?
Gambling is stupid to me.
What would it take to get you, like something like that where you would want to pay to play, basically? Because you do that with Xbox anyways, like your memberships.
Yes, but I'm paying for the product of it. So, like, yes, I know you're thinking that I'm out the money, which I am, but I'm getting exactly what I'm paying for. Like, I'm getting a functioning game with all of the stuff with it. Gambling is you pay them money in hopes of getting more money back. But more often than not, whatever the number is, 90%, whatever, you're losing out all of the money. And for some people, the thrill is that, but that's not a thrill for me.
Because I wanted to,
it's like paying for a video game, sure. Like, I get something out of it.
Okay, fine. You don't have to yell, dude. God. Because I was already thinking about, like, I wanted to do, like, Team Horse, and we can make freaking cool shirts and go play these kind of games.
Yeah, no, I refuse to gamble. I hate gambling.
And I could hit you with Like we can make a team for e-gaming. You never thought about doing that, Hoss? Make a team for
E-gaming
e-gaming?
isn't gambling. That's it. We're just going back.
Oh
to
my, Hoss, come on! Follow me, Hoss. But you want to make like, dude, like maybe what? Because e-gaming.
I have played in video game tournaments. If that's what you're asking before.
Yeah, but you didn't win anything, huh?
I have.
What did you win?
I won a whole year and a half, or not year and a half, 1 year subscription to Xbox Live, so that was free for me. I've won several video games, like the $60 video games, like on the release for the Midnights. I've won controller or headset, like for the gaming.
Turtle Beach?
Yeah.
Nice.
That was the one that was big back then. Now we save the turtles, they're out of business.
Yeah.
Okay, they're still around, but...
Those are for poor people, huh?
Yeah, I would just win, like, they were small, like it wasn't even semi-pro, it was just local leagues, and they'd have like little prizes to win. And me and my buddies would play, or I would play depending on the game by myself and try to win something, and I'd get like, I never had first place, but I'd win something in the top 3.
You wouldn't do like now like a video game store like that, Hoss? Or
I would like to. That'd be pretty fun. Like one thing I think would.
What
be
would you
cool,
make in yours? Like you make, what would it be called? Like the gaming corner. Isn't that what it was in Pokemon? The gaming
Yeah, they had
corner?
the game corner. I don't know what I'd call it, but one of the things I would like to do is if I opened up a game shop, I would want to make enough money to where I would do those midnight releases like they used to. Where people come to get the physical copy of the game, but then it'd be like a whole event all night, right? I'd offer like food, usually like pizza and like energy drinks, have people there, have tournaments where people would win stuff. Because I honestly miss that. I think that was super fun always back then. Like when Halo would release or the Call of Duties or Gears of War, those were fun to see. Like crowds of people just enjoying it all the time. And every event I went to, there was never anything bad going on. I think those were really fun. So I actually talked about that with like my brothers. Like, if I had a lot of money and like disposable income, that's something I would create is like a midnight release game spot where I would even just rent out a venue for that night, midnight release. And I'd set it all up, like for a week in advance, I'd set it all up really cool for whatever game was releasing, get people hyped for it. They'd pay like a small fee and get the game. Or even, I mean, if I had enough disposable income, it would be just free. They just have to register or something.
Maybe a membership like the library.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I would want to make like a wipeout thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like for adults, like where you can go play like an adult.
Like the obstacle courses where they fall in water. Yeah. Those always look fun.
But that would be cool. Like you can mix that with like laser tag or paintball. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that'd be pretty rough. I like that. I like that idea. That's pretty cool.
Because dude, we could even make like one where it's like you do the famous battles, right? The Battle of Normandy. We make like a miniature set for that.
Yeah. And
somebody's like we have a fake ship or whatever.
It's like American Gladiators. I don't know if you've ever watched that.
Yeah, with John Cena, he was on it.
He wasn't on American Gladiators. The new one, I'm assuming. Then
I
never watched the new.
About?
American Gladiators was an old '90s show.
Oh no, I think he was with the new one then with John Cena.
But they have, I mean, they were just roided out athletes, and then they would have like average Joes compete against them. And there's a docu-series on Netflix, pretty cool. You should check it out. But American Gladiators, sounds like what you're doing. It sounds pretty cool.
You never watched back in the day, Pros versus Joes?
I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
Yeah, but Pros versus Joes, so it's basically essentially that. Like you get a regular person, you go against an athlete. Yeah. Dude, and some of the regular person, like, bro, you got like one guy that he's beat up his wife a couple times. Yeah. You know, he used to play high school baseball. Dude, and there was always some baseball players that did decent. Like the Joes that had a...
Baseball has a high skill level.
Yeah. Like if a guy was like, oh, now I'm a mechanic, but I used to play baseball when I was a kid. Like, dude, all those guys always did really good.
Yeah, that's because they have a high skill level. It's not like... I mean, there's skill level in other sports like football and basketball, but baseball isn't just about aggression. Like, you have to be accurate with throws. You have to time it right to hit. Like, it has all those, like, to catch even. So, I generally think baseball players are more well-rounded compared to the other basketball players. As far as athleticism goes.
You know what would be cool to do, host, now, too? Would be if you did battle bots.
I love battle bots.
Bro. Dude, imagine if a robot right now is so expensive to build.
Yeah.
Imagine back then how much a battle bot
that's what
cost.
I mean. Like, I would watch those.
They have a flamethrower out. You're probably like $300,000 robot is getting burned, and you're like,
it's
oh,
obliterated. Yeah, I almost couldn't enjoy that show sometimes with my brother because my dad would just be look at all the money they're wasting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I'm like,
dude,
I
and then
just
right
wanna watch
after,
this.
when it goes to commercial, for only 25 cents a day,
Yeah.
you can sponsor.
Nope, I'm gonna build a robot to battle. And then you would see like robots, and you're like, oh, I could make a better build than that. You know, like
Dude.
I'm not even an engineer. I'm like, dude, I could make a better robot.
Dude, my dad always wanted to put Mexican things on it. Oh, I would put he always wanted to put shovels and rakes on robots, you know? He's like, oh, the shovel could block. You know, it's like, no. It's like, he's like, and he can hit shit with the rake. He was always trying to make a thing like that. One question off of that is, whatever happened to all the Africa commercials? I never thought about it until now.
They're here and now. No, I'm just... The ones that got here, like, well, dude, these are the commercials about our country.
We invested so much money.
I never got that 25 cents. They're just like, they're like, dude, that's me. Take me off the commercial. They came here as adults, dude, that's
They
me.
would just go record. That's some random apartment.
Yeah.
But, dude, have you noticed they don't do that anymore? Like, dude, they don't, low-key, they don't do a lot of charity commercials.
No, they don't.
Because people now, they can fact check. You got the fact checkers out there.
Yeah,
You know?
you do,
It's like,
yeah.
oh,
He was just going to Cleveland. You know,
Yeah.
that's where the money was going.
Dude, that's Michael Blackson, you know?
Yeah.
It's Michael Blackson and Cat Williams. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
All they did was they went to a set of Oliver Twist in like Atlanta, right, where there's a lot of black people. So obviously like the what is it called? The production, right? All the people on set, they're looking poor because they're playing Oliver Twist. Like for 5 cents a day, and the
It's
kids
just
just
one of
looking
the
at the camera
plays?
like this. Because he's acting. And
oh,
he's a
yeah,
good
method
actor,
acting, yeah.
Yeah, they're good actors.
And
then, like,
Methodist.
cut this here, edit here, for 25 cents a day. You too can feed
Hey,
me.
watch him with the cord.
Hey.
The ones that would always get my dad would be the, dude, and my dad was funny because he was like super Mexican, but what he was like a mega patriot.
Yeah.
So it's like the people that would get him, and my dad, he like never spent any money. But the things that he would always like cave into was the veterans. They would like, he's like,
Oh, man.
ya me llegó lo de los veteranos, you know,
Yeah.
and the veterans would write him a letter.
Buy 20 gold coins to support your vets.
But
They need health care.
he would like give them money, and they would come like a veteran sticker, like an American flag, and the handwritten note. I'm like, bro, like. If you think about it now, like, dude, what are the odds? Like, bro, a veteran has like non-shaky, you know, writing is like perfect. Like,
Yeah, they're
He
not gonna
doesn't-
write you. They serve the country. You think they're gonna write you?
Yeah.
They
a
already gave you
random
your
Mexican
freedom.
guy. Can you believe that?
They gave you your freedom. You think they're gonna write you? Like, dude, I put my life on the line for you. I'm not gonna write you.
But dude, he always was like, "Oh yeah, los veteranos." He would always say that. He was so pro veteran, bro. Like he literally kept all his like, you know, dude. My dad never even kept things like of me as a kid of like, "Oh, you did
But
this."
the veterans.
But dude, his mail that he would get
You
for
didn't
the
fight for his
veterans,
right. You didn't fight for his freedoms, man.
He
Come on,
had a
of course he
fucking
kept them.
a little portfolio bag of like his swag bag from the veterans that would mail him shit.
Oh, this one was in the Vietnam War.
It's like he'd have to like really pull it out, bro. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
This one was in Operation Desert Storm.
But he literally had his thing. It was like, but that's like back to like when we were talking earlier about like the battles and stuff. Like that's when like, it was like a soldier. Like even my dad, a fully grown like 40-year-old man, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, these guys are like fucking GI Joes. They're dope. And now we're like, oh, look at these fucking losers, you know?
Do you remember how cool toy commercials were back then?
Yeah.
I haven't even seen a toy commercial in the past
Oh, it's
10
got Miss
years.
Rachel,
I don't know.
Mr. Beast. Now all the toys are like Mr. Beast. You know what I mean? It's like, bro.
Get a plushie.
Yeah.
What do they do though? They hump
Those
pillows now,
ones,
these kids?
The furries.
Yeah. Fucking pervs.
But yeah, there's like no. It's because all of it now is like you just have to play. It's like Roblox. What is that game? The other one where they Fortnite.
Yeah. Minecraft.
Yeah. So there's not like all the toys are not that.
But kids play with toys, and I see them with new toys. I just don't see them being marketed. So I don't know how.
It's just like internet toys.
I'm sure
bro.
like the internet probably doesn't like movies.
That's what I'm saying. Like Mr. Beast. Like, oh, this is the Nelt Boy squirt gun. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, the Super Soaker. Oh man, but I just because it was cool back then. You know, you were watching your show. Like you had to go through effort to watch a show you wanted, and then within the show you wanted, these commercial breaks were showing things to sell you because they knew the
That you
kids were
can't
glued to the
afford.
TV. Yeah. And you remember like Street Sharks, I don't remember that, but
Yeah.
they have these plastic brick cinder block walls, and the kids, you know, these would just shove the toy through so it looks like they're breaking, and it was so real, it was so cool, like, oh, I want to do that.
Oh, yeah, my toy's gonna be able to do the same thing. You know what I mean?
But you only got the toy.
You got a piece of shit plastic. Bro, the worst, you got a toy and you're waiting for it the whole time, and it's like, it's so small.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and back then, like, dude, if you imagine if you ordered something in the mail, like, it was so easy to bamboozle you back then.
Of course.
You know? It's like, you had to go to Toys R Us.
Because now they have to put, that's why they put, like, not actual size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back then, to your point, like, bro, you get a freaking G.I. Joe, he was like the size of your dad, and like the kid's holding it.
Yeah.
You know?
And
then
then
you
you
get
could
it.
throw them down the stairs and they wouldn't break.
Yeah.
Well,
But
if
dude,
you were lucky. If you got
those
good ones.
toys, though, like, yeah, like you said, like, because even in the antique stores, like some of the toys that we have here is like you said, they're still alive. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
still like.
And the time that you, I mean, as boys, that you would take to, like, make a war scene, right? Going back to war, right? You would set them all up, and you would, in your mind, they're all fighting. You see the guns and the missiles blowing up, so you would hit some to, like, blow them up. And now you just need 2 long towers for that. But
You know, back then, it's like, to your point of, like, toys being so good, it's like, you got your money's worth for, as a kid for your toys, and so did your parents, you know? Because they could beat the shit out of you with your toy. You know what I mean? They'd always like, oh, you like G.I. Joe? Dude, and they'll fucking hate you with G.I. Joe. Like, you're not paying attention. They'll grab them. They got to be able to beat you up
yeah, I
with
bet
the
you would
same
do math
toy.
if G.I. Joe did math, right? Boom.
How many is that? 1,
Yeah.
2, 3. You're gonna.
I bet Optimus Prime could write a poem. Boom.
Dude, meanwhile, I'm telling my teacher, I got Skeletor beat me last night.
Yeah.
You know, but I was telling my teacher I'm getting abused at home. She's like, oh, you're so creative. You have such a
great
good imagination.
Yeah. You're gonna go far.
You know
Yeah,
what?
far as a kid's home because your parents are gonna have, what is it? Child Protective Services call.
Did your parents ever scare you with that? When they're like, oh, if you don't, I'm gonna give you away to like Child Protective Services. You know? Oh, you think like you just got beat up, bro? You got like you got 2 black eyes. You're bleeding, bro. You look like Rocky. They're like, oh, you think that's bad? You want me to drop you off at the orphanage so you can see what it's like?
Yeah.
And so they even scare you even more. They're like, say you love me.
Yeah. A popular one that my parents would like do is if I never complained too much about this. It was my brother like, oh, you know, when kids are like, it's unfair. Blank parents would let them do this. You know, like would let them do whatever, right? My mom would always just turn because now she figured out white culture for the most part, and that's mostly what we grew up around. At least here in Utah, she would just turn because this wouldn't work in Florida. She would turn and look at my brother like, oh yeah, does his mom also cook him home cooked meals every day? Like, cause they don't.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Oh, my friend has this.
like that's
Oh,
like so she's differentiating them. Like, okay, cool, maybe she allows that, but you get a home cooked meal every day, type of thing.
Do they have clean laundry, or your buddy always smells like ass?
Yeah, stuff like that. So.
Because dude, that was another big one too. Like, bro, like they stunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like some
like,
of the
they're
kids, like they had.
he's just being himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't like baths, so we try to get him when it's raining outside, I send him outside, you know? I let him play in the sprinklers in the summer. I give him bubbles, but it's Dawn dish soap, and that's how he cleans himself.
Oh,
up.
bubbles though.
Dirty
Bubble
little
bath
runs.
back then?
Oh, bubble baths? I only took one once.
Oh, bro, I would just
At least one that I remember.
I would just dump the shampoo in there, bro. Just freaking
No, I only took
that VO5, just throw it in there.
Yeah, I remember VO5.
Yeah.
Remember the aloe one with the cucumber?
That was in like all the Sábado Gigante commercials. It was like, and dude, there's so many things I got that.
Remember Garnier Fructis?
Oh yeah, that's what I still use.
I think Garnier Fructis is what made me fall. Like when a girl has a nice set of hair, it's probably from that commercial. I said a girl.
Oh,
You can relax those split ends, okay?
Hey, come on, they're separated. You piece of shit.
A little dry ass squirrel tell you that. But yeah, because you know they would show off their hair by like doing this and letting it flow.
Garnier
Usually it was a
Fructis.
ginger, it was red hair, right?
Yeah.
And then they had the black girl with the curls, like the
Yes,
natural afro.
I was gonna say
Oh
they
my
always had
God,
a black girl with
that was
Garnier.
a weakness for me. And then they had like the blonde girl do her like fingers to.
You could tell that they smell good through the TV, like the Garnier girls.
Oh, they smell like the Garden of Eden is what they smell like. You know?
Look at those.
Before Eve fucked it up, you know.
It
Before he fucked it up, they smelled like the Garden of Eden. You can just tell. I was just Adam. I was happy before that bitch ate the apple because a snake told her to. Fucking moron. Just you could just no. You smelled hope. You smelled just vitality. Everything was good. And she's like, oh, a snake told me you ignored me this morning. This snake told me to eat the apple. I'm fucking eating the apple. Come on, for a fucking apple. You had it all, and it wasn't good enough. You had it all, and she wanted more. And a snake. Hey, eat this fruit, and then you'll die. Oh, that's better than what I have now.
It's called romance. God, dude, speaking about the Garden of Eden, like I was like, I'm trying to learn, not learn. I was like, gonna listen to some new ebooks or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And which has been impossible. I'll tell you to begin with. I don't know why. Like I can listen to a podcast where I can retain the information, but the ebook is like since they're not.
It's not a personality.
They're reading it exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like blah 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 blah. So it just nothing sticks. You know what I mean? Like even if you try to make it sound like you're having a fun time, like it's not. It doesn't hit. But I was listening to Jordan Peterson's. He's got like the 12 rules or something like that. But he was talking about like exactly that, like the Garden of Eden. He's like, oh, you guys think it's Eve, you know, the bad one, and blah blah blah. I was like, but like, what happens? Like, what happens as soon as like, whatever they get in trouble? He's like, Adam is like, oh well. Why did you give me her? Like he starts being like a little bitch. So he's like, so since then, man's been a bitch. Basically, what Jordan Peterson's been saying. I was like, that's a good point.
What then?
Yeah,
that's something you have to think about.
Why would you make Eve? Why would you make Eve if you didn't want to tempt me or something?
It's not nothing. It's something that has to be considered. Just see how we talk like that.
I was like, yo, that's a good point. You know, I was like, could you imagine guys like this motherfucker? Like the first thing is like, it was like that guy, that Adam blames his chick. You know, it's like, yo, it's this chick's fault, bro. Yeah. And God's like, yo, you can't even keep her under control.
Well, that's the thing. Like even in the scriptures, the blame still's not Eve. It's Adam's transgressions, is what they call it.
Yeah. But he didn't want to take accountability.
It's for listening to the woman. That was his transgression. It was a full circle moment right there. Okay. But anyways, all I'm going to say is I have a thing for hair because of Garnier Fructis. Great commercials. Great commercials.
Garnier, dude. Garnier Fructis. And that it's still a banger, bro. Like all the products that I use are Garnier.
They're nice. They smell good.
Yeah, because
very nice.
And this
you
one
remember Pantene? Which always threw me off because in English they said Pantene and it always reminded me of Pantene.
Yeah. Like, Pantene Pro V. Weird, that was the nice one.
But it's nice.
Remember?
When I was a peak afro, when I was a 15, 16-year-old, Pantene made my luscious curls.
That's when you got like some extra money. You got Pantene, bro.
Of course, yeah.
That's like you saw that because it was like Garnier. That's like you're leveling up, but you got Pantene Pro V, bro.
Remember the soap to Lever 2000?
No.
Which was really just a money scam because they would come. I don't know if they did this to your schools, but some spokesperson would come. This is like peak capitalism. You remember when they would try to sell things and you could win a PS2? I don't even remember.
Oh yeah, like you have to track, and it was always like you have to sell 2,000 units, bro. There's like. Dude, there's 300 people in my neighborhood, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, it's funny because it was just such a scam, and my parents like looked at it, and keep in mind, like I'm a little kid that got brainwashed. I'm like thinking, oh, I could win a PlayStation 2. My parents can't buy one. I could sell it my way to it. Parents are looking like, no, this is not doing this. It's a fucking scam. They just ripped up like that little brochure that they gave us, and what they were doing is they were ripping up my hope. You know, like. Because as a kid, you're like, I can get that.
Yes.
But they're like, this is a scam. And I couldn't wrap my head around it, but they'd rip it up. And then by the time I was like in 5th grade, I realized this is a fucking scam.
Because your parents, like, that's one thing about Latinos, bro. It's like, you may not be doing as good.
Yeah.
Your parents like, bro.
But you're not selling world's best chocolate.
Well, you're not making your son sell the world's best chocolate.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? It's like, only I can make my son fucking go sell something, okay? Yeah. Not your fucking, whoever wrote this.
I'm in charge of my child, not you.
And he's not going to win anything.
Yeah. He's not going to make you money, he's going to make me money.
Yeah. So, that was like, exactly for me, it's like, dude, if I told my dad, it's like, oh, I got to go, like, sell chocolates for school. Like, he was super pro school, but if I told him, he's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, same with my parents wanted me to be in school.
I was like, why do you want to go do that? He's like, you're not learning anything. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're already being told no here at the house. That's what they would say. I was like, and that's why I'm such a good salesman. All I heard was no, 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 no.
No does not scare
So I
me.
turn it into yes. The power of yes.
If you flip a couple of letters around, drop a couple, add 3 new ones, you
Oh,
spell
no.
no to yes.
I don't know what that means to us.
You just have to erase no and just write yes. You know.
Angle them a little bit different.
Yeah. It's just changes perspective and you get a yes.
Dude, another product that came out, remember, that was like, bro, that was a banger when it came out? Febreze, bro, remember?
Febreze was crazy.
Right? Because it was like,
Yeah.
you had Fabuloso and you could, boil
And then
it
you
or
remember
whatever.
Plug It In? Because they came out around the same era.
Plugins. Dude,
It was Plug It In or the other one, Ren Use It. Like, that was the same. But Febreze was a game changer because then, the thing is, we were impressionable children. Our parents knew better. And I just remember my brother, like, my mom's like, go do your laundry. And my brother's like, no, I don't have to. She goes, why? He goes, I use Febreze. She goes, that doesn't fucking clean the clothes. It just makes them smell nice. He goes, yeah, but now they're clean. Because she goes, no, it still has dirt on them. Go fucking wash your clothes. Now you just wasted Febreze. You're gonna go buy me a new one. You know, like, so it's like he just hung up his clothes on a hanger, would spray it with Febreze, and think they're
you just gotta
clean
get
now.
the butthole, gotta get
Yeah.
the crotch, you're good to go. Dude, did you ever have a pair of pants back then that you would just like wear, bro? And, like, I remember one time, bro, like it was in 5th grade. I always like these like khakis that I always loved because I could play like soccer and I could move good. And then me and my buddy Logan, this freaking ginger, bro, like he just wore. Maybe we wore the same pants out of necessity. I don't know, but I just remember I liked that set of pants a lot.
Sure.
And one day, you did everything sitting down, like in elementary. So it's like towards the end of the day, then we all sit down on the floor.
Yeah.
And the teacher would tell us stuff, and then we'd sing. And I remember both of us, like, we just got back from recess, bro. Like, we sit down, we're like this, like crisscross or whatever. And bro, we just like get a woof. Like, and I remember Logan, like, bro, it's like red ginger. He just looks at me, and he goes back. He's like, just like his face was so disgusting. But both of us smelled it at the same time.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. So we looked at each other like, dude, we fucking stink, but we didn't say anything because we were like, now we were just trying to play it cool. That's like, so that, dude, okay, one thing maybe if it was great for you was, like, because sometimes, like, I wouldn't have, like, a bunch of socks growing up, you know what I mean? Like, I'd have a bunch of socks. I'm playing soccer. I'm doing, like, all these fucking nasty things. So my feet would stink sometimes, bro. Like, I remember, like, sometimes they'd be like, oh, you go to, like, somebody's house, I'll take your shoes off in this house. I'm like, fuck, bro.
No, it was pretty clean. The one thing that always scared me, I didn't like shitting at other people's places.
Oh, really?
So
you
I
thought
would,
you were
like,
going to clog up
I
the
would
toilet?
hold, but yeah, just I didn't care to do it. I didn't want to stink up the bathroom and someone go in afterwards and be like, dude, fuck this kid, So I would always hold it as much as I could. There was a time where one of the houses I never went to this guy's house other than this one time, because we never hung out at his place. But we ended up going there because he got a new game and he's the only one that had it, so we went to go play at his house. And this was like maybe 2 or 3 blocks away. I almost shit my pants because I'm like, I'm going to go home real quick. And they go, why? And I didn't want to admit it, but I just decided, like, I got to take a shit. And he goes, just use my bathroom. I'm like, nope. He goes, why? I was like, I'm not going to shit here. And I'm like, kind of like speed walking home. I almost didn't make it to the toilet. And then at that point, because I'm like, that fear of almost shitting on myself, that's when I got over it. I'm like, I'll have to be able to shit somewhere else now.
Damn. Yeah. No, for me, it's always been like the feet, and that was well. That's why you even shaved my feet. Remember what I told you was?
Oh man.
Because he was like, bro, I don't want to have somebody get a fucking wolf of that hoof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that always scared me, bro. So I'm like, oh,
For
bro, I
sure.
want to have stinky feet. Like, even as an adult, bro. Like I remember
As an adult, I fear swass. You ever get swass?
Yes.
That's why I always have Gold Bond on me, right? The body powder.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm a clean person, so I'm good, but it's always something on my mind. Where I got to make sure I have the wipes so I can wipe.
When would that, like, click in for you?
22.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think maybe mine was around the same time. It was when I sold cars, bro.
Okay.
And we had this guy, he passed away from, like, several heart attacks. Big Josh, bro. Like, Big Josh, he was,
Several.
like...
Dang.
He was, like, 600 pounds, bro. And this guy was, like... Dude, for breakfast, he always ate, like, 2 Little Debbies, a big Mountain Dew, and then I can't remember what else. dude, he knew it down to the cent. He would give me like the exact. He's like, it's going. He's like, Jose, go get me this. Like, you can put gas in your car. He'd get me like a gas slip from the dealership.
Yeah.
And he would give me the exact change for his like gas station breakfast of like about so like. But one day, like, dude, we're in the Nissan Maxima. It was like it was Nissan Maxima or a Murano, but it was like one of the expensive Nissans. Like
Sure.
leather, hot summer, and I'm like, dude, it's me and this customer. I'm like, dude, I'm killing it, but I'm still like the new guy. So this is before I had any sales experience, and it's me. And then he's like, Jose, go in the back. He's like, I'm gonna ride with you guys, and he's gonna take shotgun. Dude, like me and the customer, we were already vibing. We're already chopping it up, and Big Josh, bro, like. He has to like angle himself to get into the fucking car to begin with.
Yeah.
Like to the side, right? Dude, as soon as he sits down, like that freaking mist just goes
That musk.
and that Elon, bro, he closes the door, dude, and my customer and me, like he's just looking at me through the mirror, through the front mirror. And we're like, dude, holy hell, it fucking stinks, bro. Like ass and like we walk out and dude, like the car was just like fucking done.
Destroyed.
Bro, it was destroyed, and one of the older guys, like the
Already
customer
ruined the
leaves.
value, yeah.
The customer leaves, and one of the older guys' name was Johnny. He looked like the Pringles guy. And he comes in and he's like, you smell that? He's like, that's a rookie move. He's like, and he pulls out a little bag. And he's like, you always want this when you're gonna be a salesman, okay? He's like, go powder up, or you can be like Josh. So, dude, here's the crazy part, right? Like in the morning, you would powder up with the old guys. You know what I mean? So like all the senior guys that have been working.
You're all getting prepped together.
They would get there. They're like fixing your stuff, like fixing their coffee, and then you just like pass a little thing and freaking hit your freaking butthole.
Yeah.
Get your nuts, and then you're like, you're ready to sell.
Yeah, dude, it works, man. It works.
So that was my biggest fear, and I have a big confession. I'm not sure if I told you. You ever watched Robin Big or no?
Yeah, I've seen that show, yeah.
But one time, because this is before I got the powder in my asshole. Okay, this is before.
Not that kind.
This is before like. This is before it's like I got put on game like, what is his name? Big. Like what he would do is like he would do a man pawn. Because he was like so fucking big, he was like so huge. He was like,
Man palm?
yeah.
What is that?
So he would get like a tampon for a woman.
Oh.
So he just like roll up a bunch of paper and like stick it in his ass. You know what I mean? And so he's like, oh, I got that leaky butt. And he was like so big, then he would just like keep his ass fresh like that. So for a while, bro, that's what I was doing. So I just like roll up paper and just like put it in my ass.
I did that on an airplane because the AC wasn't working and it was super hot. And I didn't stink at that point. But in my mind, I'm like, dude, I might stink later. I went to the bathroom in the airplane. Like, obviously, we're already in the air.
Yeah.
I just grabbed several, folded it together. I even put some Gold Bond powder on it. Stuck it there in my pants. And I knew I wasn't going to stink, so I was like, I could relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
See,
done that.
because I felt safe, but you know what happened, bro? It's like, I was playing, it was like 11s when we sold checks. Like,
Sure.
but I would do, I had the night shift, so what I would do is I go play gym, basketball. So, like, I'm going to a plane. Bro, I didn't realize I had a fucking man palm, bro, and that shit. After a couple rebounds.
Oh, it hurts, I'm sure.
It fell, bro.
Oh, fuck. Just fell out.
But nobody saw that.
And it's a different color now, too.
Yes!
Yeah.
And nobody knew that it was me, but there's this guy Tyler, and like Tyler, bro, he was like Jason Kidd, that's what he looked like, and he was just like a tough motherfucker, bro. He was already like in his 40s, but he was like solid. He was like the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the basketball crew, you know? So he's like, what the? So we're like playing. He's like, yo, stop! And he's like, there's something on the floor, and I'm like, oh fuck, bro. And he's like,
Was this at the gym?
This was at the gym, bro, at Gold's gym. We're like in the middle of a fucking basketball game. So he's like, he stops the game. He's like, yo, wait up. He's like, there's something on here. He's like, some sort of like paper or something. And he's like, he starts moving the toilet paper and he picks it up. And he's like, oh, there's shit on here. And he's like, and he runs out, bro. And then everybody's like, oh, what the hell? So everybody goes to where the man pawn is, bro. Everybody's like checking it out. So now I have to go and be like, oh no, that's fucking crazy. That's gross. I wonder what it is.
Dude, I know you just told me how it happened, but I'm just imagining you dribbling and just doing like just a small finger roll layup, and it falls out as you jump. Like, it's graceful, it's slowly falling. You make the layup, you're happy with it, you're jogging back. No one notices, thankfully, and then it's just there.
But bro, after that, that's all that got me to stop. You know what I mean? I was like, oh damn, bro. It's like I can't take it. Can you imagine like if they saw
You could do it if you had the compression shorts, because then it wouldn't fall out.
That's when they were expensive.
Yeah, I'm saying, but now you can. I'm just saying that you can. You don't. You can let go of that fear.
Dude, Javi, when the compression shorts came out, since he was like good at soccer,
Yeah.
like Javi, he got all that gear, and he was the first one working.
Yeah.
So Javi had like the compression. Like, oh, I want to look buff, because Javi was never really into working out. So he would compress his upper body and stuff like that. But then what happens? Javi's an older guy, right? He's a cool guy. So now like Gabe, Joaquin, like they're fucking massive. They start stealing all his compression stuff to look skinny, bro. And they stretch that shit out so much, they wouldn't even fit Javi anymore.
Oh damn!
All
I'd be
his
pissed.
compression gear was
I'd be pissed.
and you would just catch them like they're not even being athletes. They're
Yeah,
just
they're
like
just wearing it.
wearing compression stuff around the house, like compression whole body, bro.
Just to watch them on TV.
They're just laying down in compression wear. You're like, bro, that's crazy. What are you doing? He's like, and they wouldn't even take it off, so Javi couldn't take it back from him, you know?
Yeah.
So they'd just be wearing it to school like every single day. There'd be like compressed. Like, I was like, oh, I look buff. That was like the Skims, but for men.
Yeah. I never bought it.
No, I think I wore it
I-
once, but it wasn't.
It wasn't compression, but they were like the more fitted ones. Like when I would play ball, I'd get like the ones that come down to your knees, just to like avoid the chafing.
Okay.
And they were like, they weren't tight, like they were fine, but they were fitted, so it felt better because then it wasn't like all swampy. Because I don't know if you ever had that too when you play like in boxers or boxer briefs, and if it's a bit loose, then you get like this pool of fucking
Sweat.
And so when it was tighter like those ones, then it would actually like stick to the underwear, and then it would eventually evaporate. So you weren't sloshing around in your own fucking ball sweat and shit. So that's why I had it. But it wasn't the compression stuff.
I want to try. They got some underwear now that it even has like a cup for your pee-pee. Have you seen those?
Yeah,
They're, like wholesome.
Duluth has that shit too, I think.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I want to try some of those.
Duluth has some nice underwear, I'm not gonna lie.
The thing for me for underwear is like it has to have the certain elastic.
Yes.
Cause some of the elastic, bro, like I don't know what they do. They make it out of like freaking.
It shreds so fast.
Yeah, but then they make some that are like sharp. It's made
Yeah,
out of
it
like
cuts
credit
your
card.
skin. Yeah.
You're like, bro, why is this like so?
Microplastics.
Yeah, you know, it's like I don't want. I would rather take the one that shreds. Than
Yeah,
the
because
other
it's
one.
not gonna hurt you. It's just annoying that it falls apart so quickly. But
And then they have some that they just kind of like re-stitch, like do like a double stitch on top.
and then it gets all folded.
Yeah,
and it
all
doesn't
like-
hold its shape.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's like messed up. So there's like a certain one, and I finally found them, bro. Like, I found them on Amazon because I had ordered a couple, and they were like the ones with the shitty elastic.
Sure.
And my dude, I was starting to run low, bro. Like I was starting to be like the ones that look like, you know, Jesus, like that cloth where he
Yeah.
died. They're like, bro, why do you got Jesus' cloth in your room, bro? I was like, no, that's my fucking.
Yeah, you look like you're about to get crucified.
That's the one thing that I was glad that got invented was the boxer briefs, because I never liked boxers.
I didn't like boxers. I wore them for like a year,
Yeah.
and then I found them to be because they would bunch up in your pants. And then when
Yeah.
they had boxer briefs, I'm like, that's what I'm gonna go for.
They don't hold your nuts.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And to your point too, it's like you get SLAS, you're sweating. All that stuff's like going down your leg, bro.
Yep.
Like, I want like my underwear's like tighter on me. It's gonna absorb some of
It's
that.
a layer of protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that like boxes, but they look cool, right? It's like
Yeah, they were dope.
if you're in a
but-
hip hop, it's like
Sure. I had them for about a year, and then I realized I didn't like them at all. And then boxer briefs came out, and that's what that's all I bought.
That's when it's like, oh man, that's nice. That's like the happy metal.
Yeah, it's like the
Right.
best.
Yeah, the best of both
You get
worlds.
support. Yeah.
That might have been the last straight American fusion. You know what I mean? That they haven't.
Boxer briefs.
Yeah, that they haven't invented something that was like, because it was like crazy, right? It was crazy that it took so
That and
long to
no-show
invent.
socks.
Oh yeah.
That no-show socks. Remember, I mean, we're roughly the same age, so people would just bunch their
Oh yeah.
socks down,
Fold
below,
it
yeah.
all the way down,
and then it would kind of hurt your feet if really you're walking around because
or you'd ruin your fucking sock.
yeah. So when they had no-show socks, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And bro, I remember when I first got my pair of no-show socks too. Like, man, I was so excited. I'm like, people can finally see my ankle, you know.
Yeah.
And now it's like back to like longer
People.
socks.
Yeah. Some kids like don't realize that you don't have like. They don't know that no-show socks are a thing. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, why aren't you wearing socks? Oh.
And now it's like some of those that aren't even socks. It's just that little
Just
thing
a
that
liner.
Goes, that dude, Javi. When I saw Javi do that, bro, I was so fucking pissed at him. And
It's like
this was like in
pantyhose,
2011.
But it never made it past your ankles.
Like Javi was doing it in 2011 when it was first like starting to be a thing.
Yeah.
I'll give that to Javi. Javi was always like on top of the game like that. But I was like, once he did that, I'm like, and the V-neck, bro.
Yeah. Suspect.
Gay?
Suspicious behavior.
Hell no. You know what I mean? Like
Very
there's like,
suspicious behavior.
there's like something for me like, you get that pantyhose sock?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a pantyhose sock.
Like, nah.
They just never made it past your ankle.
Can you imagine now if like dude, you go try to stick up a plate or something like that with like those kind of socks? Like,
Yeah.
it'd be like, nah, dude, like,
Get
get
out
out
of
of here, fam. That's not good.
It just looks like you're wearing, some chunky chick on your head.
Unless maybe you're
Then
like,
they got that little spot for the tampon that's just sitting on your forehead. Give me all your money.
now you have to be like maybe 47 and you wear those. People are like, oh, this guy, he might fucking kill me.
Yeah, of course. You're either completely a joke and a moron, or you're the worst human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no in
Now in
between.
the ghillie things, what are those called? Ghillie mask or whatever? What are
Oh,
they
the shiesty mask?
called? The shiesties, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so
Which is
many
just a
people.
ski mask, you know what I mean? They're like, you don't ski. And they can tell because your skin color, They just... You don't ski.
Because they were in Georgia. Come on, guys.
Yeah,
Okay?
Come on.
It doesn't,
It doesn't snow there. The only snow there are the bunnies, the snow bunnies.
You get one of those also or not? That's like one that I wouldn't get. That is like, bro, what am I going to wear? Like,
I have one because of when I would go hunting.
yeah.
But it's not like...
Well, see, this
I only go
back
hunting
then.
in it. Yeah.
So
So
you
there's,
got the hunter, you got the
yeah.
freaking...
And they called them balaclavas. They didn't call them
Oh,
shiesties. They're called balaclavas.
that freaking baklava, huh?
Yeah, Turkish. Shout out to the Turkish, okay? The Greeks stole that from the Turks.
The mask things?
No, the baklavas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure baklavas, like the balaclavas, I also believe is like from maybe the Turkish region too.
Oh, really?
Like the actual, or maybe it's Serbian. I don't know where it's from. I'll
Oh,
have to
bro, I
look
was
it up.
going to make a mummy reference, but like, I forget that you haven't watched that fucking movie.
I have watched it. I don't understand the obsession with it.
Okay, those...
But I've only watched it like once or twice.
What are those guys that, in the desert, that they were all black? Them and Rigi or something like that?
I don't know the name.
Remember the guys that in the black?
I know what you're talking about.
And they were cool, like they were wearing stuff like that. You're like,
Yeah.
oh damn, look at these bad boys, bro. Some Middle East, dude, Middle Eastern sometimes with fashion, right?
Oh, they got nice stuff.
Bro, they look nice, and then their cars,
Like their robes
they're
are really
different,
cool.
bro. Yeah, they hit you with that nice robe. Like, dude, you can see the thread count through the video.
You can, and then you can. I like when they have like different ropes for the turbans. Like, have you seen that where they have just different colored
Oh,
and then they'll match it with like the stand. You know how they have a stand collar?
Yeah.
And so the collar will match
The top?
the rope
Oh, I have
on
to pay
it. It's
attention to
pretty
that.
dope, man. And then sometimes they'll have like nice buttons or whatever. Same with like the Indians in India. You know, like
Oh yeah, they're
when they get their wedding garbs.
those
Some
are
of them
crazy.
man.
Yeah. See, I would wear some of those, but it's like you think about the Middle Eastern people. Like you look at those, you're like, oh, it's probably not even that expensive, but it's. Dude, some of those are
Like
like,
pure silk
you know,
with actual like gold weaved into it.
yeah, like that's crazy.
It looks nice.
Maybe
I
it
like
would be if we had a Middle Eastern friend that could give us one. That would be nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll have to find one.
You can wear that to work or no?
I would. I don't see why not.
It's not. You don't have to be like Muslim or something to wear one of those.
No.
No?
They sell them to tourists.
Oh.
That's why I never understood the whole cultural. Oh, you're wearing a kimono. That's culturally. They sold it to me.
I
You know
fed a
what mean?
family
Like,
of 6 with this.
Yeah, like the Japanese
For
sold
only
it to me
$4.99.
happily. Food's cheaper over there, guys. And they don't even eat that much to begin with. That's
and
like
I
a whole
got a
month's worth.
vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically give them a month's worth of meals.
But dude, imagine it's like
So
so.
I get to wear it for a month, you know?
You're buying it in the Middle East,
Actually,
right?
a family of 5 times a month, you know, 4. And it continues, sorry.
You're buying it from the Middle East, and the Middle Easterns are buying it from China. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
It's like a
And that's why the
2-row.
Chinese hate everybody. Because we're culturally appropriating the Chinese. Everything is.
Everything's Chinese. They're the original.
We have made that.
Dude, low key would be kind of cool to be Chinese just for the fact that you know how cheap. Like, oh look at this idiot
Buying all this.
flexing this. That's, 3 yen or whatever the hell it's their
Yeah, it's
their money
Chinese
is.
yen, yeah.
It's like that would be crazy. Like to know how cheap. It's like a luxury car here, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this car's $100,000, and then like 5 years later, $20,000.
Yeah, you'll see like because Mercedes was always the one when I was younger. I'm like, dude, Mercedes Benz are nice. Like you can just tell. And then all of a sudden, to your point, 5 years later, it would be sitting in the 30,000s when it used to be 90. Like what
And
made
then-
it lose 60K?
Yep. And then 3 years later, it would cost as much as a Nissan Versa. You know.
Yep.
And you're like, nah. Like,
Not worth it. Yeah.
for a nice no. That was the first car I ever was trying to get. It was a Mercedes, and I'm glad like
You never got one.
I never got one because it's like when I didn't know. It's like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, let's go to the dealership.
I only ever had 3 vehicles.
Hey, because you're loyal. That's a green flag, right,
Yeah,
Hoss?
I'm
No
a
red
loyal
flags
guy.
here. Come
Yep.
on, dog.
Only 3 vehicles.
But I think we're good. No, anything
I
else
think
you
we're
want to
good.
say?
No, I have nothing going
These
on.
have been actually low-key pretty fun, huh?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. So no one else asked to come. I'm kidding. No. It's just been different, maybe because we haven't done it all year other than last week and this one. And we're just chopping it up, switching it up a little bit. Now that it's live stream too, we get some people on
Yeah.
occasion trickling in. But
Yeah, that's nice. Learning a little bit of history and also just kind of. What's kind of cool too about these, like you don't have to. I don't know what it is. This is more like a regular conversation almost. You know?
yeah, I don't have to entertain someone. And that's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's nice to just
To not
chop it
worry.
up. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Be
Not a
happy.
thing. Every
Oh, they're
little
singing something
thing.
else. It's gonna be
Be
alright.
alright. Alright, but you want to take us out with the outro host? You want to say anything?
Yeah. Lest we forget, una vez más.
Itadakimasu. Ni hao.